कुछ ज़्यादा ही शॉर्ट हो गई स्ट्रीम, मतलब इतनी शॉर्ट तो मैंने भी नहीं सोची थी, तो आई एम बैक टू मेक श्योर इट डजंट गो दैट शॉर्ट। आई थिंक, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा, मैं तुमको बहुत क्लियरली बता रहा हूँ। आई थिंक दिस सिचुएशन हेयर इज़ अ फायर हैज़र्ड, आई एम नॉट इवन किडिंग। मतलब थोड़ा सा तमीज़ से मेरे को रखना चाहिए, बट उसमें टाइम लगेगा, उसमें सोचना पड़ेगा। लाइव चल रही है। हेलो ह्यूम, थैंक्स फॉर जॉइनिंग स्ट्रीम, हाउ आर यू? सो देयर वी गो, जस्ट सेटिंग एवरीथिंग अप। हुआ क्या यार कि मैं निकला गड्डी लेके, बिकॉज ऑफ द चेंजेस इन द कंप्यूटर, थोड़े से जो करे हैं वो क्लीनिंग वगैरह जो करवाने के वजह से, तो आई हैड टू सेट इट अप अभी स्ट्रीम पे जस्ट आने से पहले, एंड उसमें थोड़ी सी दिक्कत आ रही है, वो थोड़ा सा हक रहा है। I'm not too bad, thanks for asking. I was supposed to be somewhere else today, but मैं जा नहीं पाया, तो कल there will be no stream. I should just let everyone know. दोस्त की वजह से, डस्ट की वजह से क्लीन वगैरह करवाया, हाँ डेस्कटॉप वगैरह ये सब, बट अभी वापस आके फिर से वो करा सेटअप वगैरह सारा, तो अब पता नहीं क्यों उसमें दिक्कत आ रही है। सो आई जस्ट हैड टू रीडू द वायरिंग ऑफ द माइक। और लेकिन दिस सिचुएशन इज़ हॉरेबल, यहाँ भाई आग लगेगी किस दिन। एक बार तो लग चुकी है जब वो स्मोक मशीन चली थी, और आ जा यार, ओह माय गॉड, देखिएगा क्यों यार, क्योंकि एक जगह ऐसी है, इतनी सारी तारें हैं, इतने सारे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हैं चल रहे हैं, और जो सारा आपस में मिक्स्ड है, और यहाँ पानी पड़ा रहता है, यहाँ पर ये कपड़ा रहता है विच इज़ ऑब्वियसली नॉट गुड, राइट। यहाँ पर ये टॉयलेट रोल रखा रहता है। सो यस, दिस सिचुएशन हेयर इज़ रियली रियली बैड। डिक्लेटर कर लो ऑर्गेनाइज भी। हाँ यार, वो मेरे साथ पता क्या इशू है, खैर आई थिंक इट हैपन्स विद एवरीवन। आई थिंक आई नीड टू फिगर आउट अ डे इन द मंथ, जैसे सेकंड सैटरडे और समथिंग लाइक दैट, एंड एवरी मंथ आई नीड टू डू दिस, द रीअरेंजमेंट और ये सारी चीज़ें। रोज तो नहीं, बट कॉफ़ी गिर रही रहती है। ट्रू। क्या हाल है शुभदीप, क्या हाल है चीनी वाले डैडी? गुड मॉर्निंग। टॉयलेट रोल बैकग्राउंड में रखने वाले, गुड मॉर्निंग, हाउ आर यू गाइस, क्या चल रहा है? हाय। ओए होए डायबिटीज़, मज़ा आ गया भाई, मज़ा आ गया डायबिटीज़ लेके। पॉल क्या हाल है, थैंक्स फॉर जॉइनिंग स्ट्रीम बड़ी, हाउ आर यू? भाई साहब, आई मीन if you die like 10 years early because of diabetes, but you're really happy with everything that you're eating and drinking, is it really that bad? It is, right? It is bad. It's not good, but it's really good. Oy, oy, oy. I'm trying to figure out a way to show you guys कि क्या सीन है, पर उसके लिए मुझे फिर से पीछे उस रूम में जाना पड़ेगा टू शो टू यू गाइस। मैंने की बात मत किया करो प्लीज़, ओके, सॉरी। दैट इज़ द थिंग, हम लोग लैंग्वेज को लेकर बहुत lenient होते हैं। मेरी आँखों में और खुजली है, मेरे कानों में, और आज तेरा बॉल स्पॉट दिख रहा है, चाट ले। सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग गाइस, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? देखते हैं दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है। बहुत ही बड़ा एक्सप्लोजन करा था ईरान में, मैंने जो कि स्ट्रीम के बाद देखा कल। लाइक मैसिव मैसिव एक्सप्लोजन देखा किसी ने? ह्यूमंगस, कैमरा के पास आओ फिर। ह्यूमंगस एक्सप्लोजन डूड। Amazing how America keeps doing the most horrible things and keep getting away with it, and then they tell other people that you bad, we need to make you good. मैं तो न्यूज़ बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं देख रही हूँ। आई थिंक दैट्स गुड, आई थिंक दैट्स गुड।
तो क्या हालचाल से
इंसाइट मिलती, स्ट्रीम से मिलती है तेरे को। आई सी व्हाट यू सेइंग। अब मुझे आवाज़ नहीं आ रही खैर, सो आई नीड टू फिक्स समथिंग हियर। इज दिस इट?
कल मैं हूं ऑन मैनेट के
तुमको आ
साथ।
रही है ना? ठीक है, मेरे को नहीं आ रही। नन क्यों? अच्छा, अरे यार ये लगा ही नहीं रखा ना यहाँ से भाई साहब। और की माँ की आंख, धुरंधर का ट्रेलर। ट्रू। अब मुझे भी आएगी।
आज हम
ओ चिल्ला रहा है, बहुत तेज चिल्ला रहा है, तो तूने बताएगा नहीं? आई, अरे मैं तुमको एक मिनट आया, मैं भाग के आता हूँ। तुमको मैं दिखा के ही मानूंगा अब, ठीक है? हर साल सब समझ गया भाई, मैं तुमको मैं दिखा के मानूंगा। मैं बस 1 मिनट में आ रहा हूँ, मैं अपनी आई ड्रॉप लेके आ रहा हूँ और मैं एक्शन कैमरा लेके आ रहा हूँ। बट आई वांट यू गाइस टू टेल मी व्हाट आर यू इंटरेस्टेड इन। वैसे मैं कुछ और पूछने वाला था, बट आई थिंक वो बाद में आके करूँगा। बट व्हाट्स बिन इंटरेस्टिंग यू इन द वर्ल्ड? क्योंकि मैं तो वो फालतू की चीज़ें देखूंगा इधर उधर की। भाई मैं तार बार खींच रहा था, सेटिंग वेटिंग कर रहा था। लुक, आई एम नॉट इवन किडिंग, आई डिडंट इवन मेक दिस। लाइक बेल्ट पड़ी है भाई कंप्यूटर टेबल पे, ऐसे रोल होके वहाँ पर मैं तारे खींच रहा हूँ, ये सब कर रहा हूँ, ऐसे बेल्ट रखी हुई है। कल तो बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी है बन रहा है। तेरे को क्या बताएं, क्या हालत है? सुनाने से बोली। एक मिनट दो। ऑलराइट, डन डन। ये खा गया। अबे तू खा गया होगा, मैं तो खाता ही नहीं हूँ। ओह नो, ऑन कैसे ना हो रो? वेबकेम, वेबकेम। आज चैट दूसरी तरफ है। नहीं, जब भी फुल स्क्रीन होती है चैट दूसरी तरफ होती है. लेट्स सी. ये चल, ओ ओ मैं कहूँ चल क्यों नहीं रहा. सच में नहीं चल रहा है अभी भी, बट आई डोंट नो व्हाई. तार तो लगी हुई है. हाँ, तो जब भी फुल स्क्रीन होती है चैट उस तरफ होती है. What is happening, guys? I don't understand it. What is going on? आज कोई चीज़ चल क्यों नहीं रही है? Like the fucking camera just completely like is fucking up. Look, it's not supposed to do that. लोग इसका नहीं है ना true. भाई सही बात तो शुद्धि भी पकड़ता है. Fucking DJI. Ouch. Chinese brand. इनकी brand की यहाँ. Okay, let's see. ऑन क्यों हो रहा, बंद रहा है. कर क्या रहा है भाई. मैं सेटअप करना चाह रहा हूँ भाई. मुझे ना किसी ने बताया कि स्ट्रीम में यू शुड हैव अ सेटअप. सो आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक श्योर आई ऑल्सो लाइक ऑल द बिग डिक स्ट्रीमर्स दैट आई ऑल्सो हैव अ सेटअप. ओके, लेट्स सी गाइस, लेट्स सी. चलने वाले दिन तो बैटरी भी नहीं चार्ज पे चल रहा था. ट्रू, वही ना. ओके, लेट्स सी. वेबकैम, इज इट वर्किंग? नो, इट्स नॉट वर्किंग. ऑफ स्ट्रीम सेटअप करो ना. फक ऑफ. ओह, इट्स वर्किंग. होली शिट, डैम. कहाँ रखूँ इसे? यहाँ ठीक है. हाँ, अरे है कितनी गंदी क्वालिटी है इसकी. तो मैं ये दिखा रहा था तुम लोगों को. अब ये सारी बात इसलिए लुक एट दिस. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर ये माइक है जो कि पहले यहाँ पर नहीं था. ठीक है, यहाँ मेरी आई ड्रॉप्स हैं, यहाँ मेरी सिगीज़, यहाँ मेरा टॉयलेट रोल, यहाँ ईयरफोन, यहाँ मोर सिगीज़, यहाँ मेरी डायबिटीज शेक. एंड लुक व्हाट इज़ गोइंग ऑन ओवर देयर. ये दिस इज़ द इशू, दिस इज़ द इंटायर इशू, दिस होल एरिया. आई एम नॉट किडिंग. एंड यहाँ पर सारी वो है केबल्स, और पीछे मेरा खंजर है. यू नो आई ऑलवेज कीप अ खंजर विद मी, राइट. बीजी लाइट की मांगियाँ. आई थिंक ये इसकी फक दिस थिंग डूड, फक दिस थिंग. निकाल दिया मैंने. बट ऑलराइट. तो नाउ यू नो दिस होल थिंग इज अ फायर हैजार्ड, राइट. कैमरा दिखा. मिशन फेल. विल गेट हिम नेक्स्ट टाइम. चलो, लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. फक इट.
क्या हाल चाल, सत श्री अकाल. मैं हूं नियॉन मैन एंड गाइस आज हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं इंडिया के हिस्टोरिक वर्ल्ड कप विन के बारे में. तो गाइस अभी तक आप लोगों को डेफिनेटली पता चल गया होगा कि कल इंडिया T20 वर्ल्ड कप.
यार शिट, गलती से बैक हो गए यार. इंडिया के वर्ल्ड कप की न्यूज़ के टाइम पे बैक कर दिया भाई.
तो क्या हाल चाल, सत श्री अकाल. मैं हूं नियॉन मैन एंड गाइस आज
आगे करो इसको. इज दैट ऑल द वीडियोस?
काफी इंप्रूवमेंट आई है. चलो अब मैं आप लोगों को एक ट्रेड के थ्रू दिखाता हूं कि कैसे सिंपली ये काम करता है. ये मेरी एक रीसेंट सक्सेसफुल ट्रेड थी जिससे कि मेरे को काफी
क्या बात है, मजा आ गया.
डिस्क्रिप्शन एंड पिन कमेंट में दे दिया है. एंड बोनस के लिए मेरा प्रोमो कोड
Hello, shit.
यूज करना तो बिल्कुल भी मत भूलना. डू चेक इट आउट नाउ. एनीवेज चलिए अब हम लोग बात कर लेते
इतना वाहियात फिनाले था.
हैं UK07 राइडर के बारे में. तो UK07 राइडर के अकाउंट में फर्स्ट पोस्ट आया आफ्टर द ट्रेजेडी. हॉस्पिटल से उनका ये फोटो डाला गया. प्रे फॉर अनुराग फाइटिंग फॉर लाइफ. शायद से उनकी टीम मैनेजमेंट या फ्रेंड्स की तरफ से कोई डाले होंगे. उनके मैनेजर रोहित की तरफ से भी एक अपडेट आया. क्लोज फ्रेंड्स भाभी एंड हर फैमिली आर करंटली विद हिम एट द हॉस्पिटल. वो स्टिल अभी ऑब्जर्वेशन के अंडर है. प्लीज कोई भी रूमर्स एंड मिसइंफॉर्मेशन मत स्प्रेड करिए. एंड किसी की तरफ भी कोई भी टारगेटेड हिट मत फैलाइए. वी आर मॉनिटरिंग द सिचुएशन. लेट्स ऑल प्रे फॉर हिम फॉर हिज स्पीडी रिकवरी. इनफैक्ट उनकी वाइफ रितिका की तरफ से भी एक अपडेट आया. उन्होंने कहा अनुराग इज डूइंग फाइन. उन्हें कुछ इंजरी जरूर है बट ही स्ट्रांग एंड ही विल रिकवर सून. अभी एक बहुत ही क्रिटिकल टाइम है. प्लीज कोई भी रूमर्स या फिर मिसइंफॉर्मेशन मत स्प्रेड करिए. बस आपका अभी प्रेयर्स एंड सपोर्ट चाहिए. थैंक यू फॉर स्टैंडिंग विद अस. एंड व्हाइल वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द UK07 राइडर सिचुएशन, तो थारा भाई जोगिंदर को काफी ज्यादा हेट मिल रहा है. उनका अगर आप अभी इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट खोलकर देखोगे ना, वो मल्टीपल पोस्ट किए अराउंड UK07 राइडर्स ट्रेजेडी. वो apparently उनसे हॉस्पिटल में मिलने गए थे, वहां से मल्टीपल वीडियोस बनाए. एंड मेनी पीपल बिलीव कि वो बस व्यूज के लिए मिल कर रहे हैं UK07 राइडर को. कुछ लोगों ने कन्फ्रंट भी किए थे. एक क्लिप सर्फेस कर रहा है एंड क्रिएटर ने भी इस टॉपिक पर वीडियो बनाते हुए ये कहा. हॉस्पिटल के अंदर UK07 राइडर अपनी जिंदगी मौत के साथ खेल रहा है. और इस थारा भाई जोगिंदर को देखो, ये व्यूज पे व्यूज सप्लाई से लेना चाह रहा है. मैं एक बात बता दूं भाई, जब ये पहुंचा था हॉस्पिटल के अंदर तो रात को पहुंचा हॉस्पिटल में 2 घंटे हो चुके थे. उनके साथ हॉस्पिटल में लोग वीडियो के व्यूज ले रहे थे, बोले उसका ख्याल रख रहे थे. इसलिए गुस्से गुस्से में भाई वीडियो बनाना शुरू कर दिया और इस साले को हॉस्पिटल से भगा दिया गया कि 10 मिनट हॉस्पिटल का. तुम ये वीडियो देखो इसकी. इसमें इसको मेरे भाई मार मार के भगाया जा रहा है और ये वहां से निकल गया अपनी कार लेके और ये यहां पे देख रहे हो भाई, ये तुम्हें सिंपैथी दिखा रहा है, ये सारी फेक है, ये सारा इंस्टाग्राम फेक है। इसके बाद थारा भाई जोगिंदर भी अपने इंस्टाग्राम
वेल ऑफ कोर्स, मतलब और क्या उम्मीद है तुमको सोशल मीडिया क्रिएटर से हैं? पहचाना? अरे क्या हाल है? नेक्स्ट वन नेक्स्ट बड़ी, हाउ आर यू? तो क्या उम्मीद है और ये सोशल मीडिया वाले लोगों से? मुझे समझ नहीं आता, लाइक हाउ मेनी टाइम्स डू पीपल नीड टू बी सरप्राइज्ड बाय द सेम फकिंग थिंग ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन? हाउ मेनी टाइम्स? हाउ मेनी टाइम्स? हाँ? How many times? I'm sorry, that was so rude. That was so bad. That was so uncalled for. I am so sorry. That's out of, that's like, no. That's way out of line. I'm so sorry.
में आकर ये सारे हेट पर रिप्लाई दिए। उन्होंने क्या कहा आप लोग सुन सकते हो। जो मेरे को मार गाली दी जा रही सोशल मीडिया पर। चलो भाई मैं गलत हूं भाई, चलो मैंने व्यूज के लिए किया है, मान ली परसों रात को यूके एक्सीडेंट हुआ।
Hello, guest, how are you? Thanks for joining the stream. रुक जाओ, stream चल रही है। Fuck you. Same business है every time. Exactly. अरे उसके भाई ने अपने ब्रॉडकास्ट पे कोई वॉइस नोट डाला है। Who gives a shit? छोड़ दो सब।
आप लोगों को सब पता है। उससे 2 दिन पहले यूके ने अपने YouTube चैनल पे 2 घंटे की वीडियो डाली कि मेरे मां-बाप, मेरे यार दोस्त, मेरे बहन भाई, मेरे सब ने मेरा साथ छोड़ दिया, अकेला हूं। जब भी आप लोगों ने इसका मजाक उड़ाया, इंस्टाग्राम पे कुछ लोग आए जो वीडियो बना के आप लोगों को गलत चीजें पहुंचा रहे हैं, भाई ये जोकर है, ये तो फेम के लिए कमबैक के लिए ऐसा कर रहा है। आप लोगों ने कभी नहीं सुनी। मैंने वीडियो डाली थी, यही वो वीडियो। मेरे पास सबूत आया वीडियो का। मैं आप लोगों तक ये बात पहुंचाई कि भाई सपोर्ट ना वो मेंटली डिस्टर्ब
I don't care, dude. I couldn't care less. World is a really bad place right now. मतलब इन सारी टुच्ची चीज़ों के बारे में ये कल देख लिया था। इंडियन ओरिजिन इंजीनियर कम सोशल मीडिया आर्टिस्ट, now that's what we are calling them. Madhu Raju under huge fire for making a dance reel in front of World War II memorial at USA, likely to face serious consequences. As they should. India in danger. तू पहले करा दे। OG moves are back. Power level tier list. हाउस नहीं देखा ना तुमने ऐसे किसी ने? Oh, nah, I don't think you can give Chase an A. Come on, fuck off. There's no way you can give Chase an A and Amy an E. Fuck off, dude. No way, no shot. ध्रुव भाई के लिए कुछ नहीं. Would you agree with this Muslim brother's opinion on a Delhi holy mob? Let's see. Let's hear it.
के दिन, ये दिल्ली का घटना है। होली के दिन बच्चे लोग अपने दादी पे रंग मार रहा था, चाहे किसी पे रंग खेल रहा था बच्चा, और बच्चे से किसी मुसलमान महिला को रंग पड़ जाता है। उसके बाद 20 से 25 आदमी आता है, तरुण नाम का लड़का को जान से मार देता है। जब तुझे रंग से इतना नफरत है और रमजान का महीना है तो आपने घर से क्यों बाहर निकले, और घर से बाहर आप निकले तो इसका मतलब है कि आप लड़ाई खोज रहे हैं। आप बहुत गलत किए हैं ये तरुण को मारकर, और जो मुसलमान इस पे आवाज नहीं उठाता है वो सबसे बड़ा दोगला है।
मार के तो ऑब्वियसली गलत करा है, मतलब जान से मार के नहीं, वैसे भी मारपीट करना तो आई डोंट थिंक यू हैव टू से मच, बट आई डोंट थिंक इट्स अ वैलिड थिंग टू से कि अगर आपको होली पसंद नहीं, रंग पसंद नहीं, तो आपको घर से बाहर नहीं निकलना चाहिए। नाउ देयर आर कपल ऑफ थिंग्स टू थिंक अबाउट। पहली चीज़ ये है कि मुझे कीचड़ अगर नहीं पसंद, मैं बाइक चला रहा हूँ और वहाँ पर कहीं कीचड़ है तो मुझे कीचड़ से नहीं जाना चाहिए। आई शुड बी कॉशियस, आई शुड बी केयरफुल। जो चीज़ मुझे नहीं पसंद उस साइड नहीं जाना चाहिए, बट एट द सेम टाइम देयर कैन बी मेनी रीजंस कि तुम्हें घर से निकलने की ज़रूरत है। तो आई थिंक एंड भाई कीचड़ वाली एनालॉजी इसलिए आई मेरे माइंड में क्योंकि होली बचपन में हम तो बहुत ज़्यादा कीचड़ों में खेली है हमने। I mean that was the day when I was growing up, right? तो आई जितने भी हमारे गली में आसपास लोग हुआ करते थे ना, उनमें से आई वॉज वन ऑफ द यंगर वंस। आई वॉज यूजुअली द यंगेस्ट वन, राइट? बट ऑफकोर्स मतलब मेरी हाइट ठीक ठाक है एंड यू नो आई वॉज इनटू MMA थोड़ा बहुत। तो जैसे आई वॉज ग्रोइंग अप, व्हेन आई वॉज इन माई ग्रोइंग ईयर्स, देयर वर लाइक सम ऑफ द भैयास देखो कीचड़ वगैरह में इतना मज़ा आता था बिकॉज यू नो दैट वाज माय डे। ब्लड फॉर मनी, एग्जैक्टली गेस्ट। फक यू, हु आर यू डूड? फक यू मैन। मेरे यहाँ तो एग्स मारते हैं। ओह डैम, ट्रू कलर नहीं पसंद, नहीं निकलना चाहिए। आई थिंक जनरली यू कैन से दैट, बट आई डोंट थिंक यू कैन यूज़ दैट क्योंकि किसी को निकलने की ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है। तो लास्ट ईयर होली पर जुमा था, सो सोनीपत में तो मुस्लिम्स ने ही स्पेशल अनाउंसमेंट की थी, मस्जिद आने से अच्छा घर कर लेना अपनी पूजा एंड ऑल। दैट्स नाइस, दैट्स नाइस।
जब ईरान में लड़ाई हुआ, आप
कितनी हाइट है मेरी? हाइट यार अराउंड 6 आई थिंक।
उसको सपोर्ट किए, और ये दिल्ली का घटना है, इसको भी सपोर्ट कीजिए। गलती इस मुसलमान का है, वो तरुण भाई को जान से मार दिया, 20 से 25 आदमी जाके घर पे, एक थोड़ी
True.
सी रंग की वजह से। क्या दुनिया है भाई, इस पे भी आवाज उठ।
मैं नहीं निकलती, मुझे कलर्स नहीं पसंद। दैट इज़ एब्सोल्युटली फेयर टू से ह्यूम। एट द सेम टाइम you cannot make that the norm, right? We cannot make that the norm. That's the issue, क्योंकि स्पेशली लोगों के फेसेस जब पूरे कलर्ड होते हैं, कोई भी फेस्टिवल हो, कोई भी इंसान हो, किसी भी कम्युनिटी हो, कुछ भी लोग हों, जब सब लोग ग्रुप में होते हैं, फेस कवर होते हैं, बहुत सारी अजीब गरीब चीज़ें होती हैं, ये बात सबको पता है, राइट? दैट्स अ ह्यूमन थिंग। तो प्रखर यादव ब्लॉग से आ रहे, थैंक्स फॉर जॉइनिंग स्ट्रीम बड़ी ब्रो। UKO7 के बारे में अपना ओपिनियन बताओ। मैं नहीं बताऊंगा, सीक्रेट रखा है मैंने। मेरा ओपिनियन UK07 के बारे में मैंने यहाँ रखा है, और ये किसी को नहीं मिल रही। जिस दिन ये क्योंकि किताब खुल गई ना, उस दिन मैं और UK दोनों शादी कर लेंगे। घर के बाहर जैसी भी खड़ी है चाचा की। प्रखर के पॉडकास्ट पे भी बताया। ये नॉवल खाली है बाय द वे। अच्छा, क्या बोल रहा था मैं अभी अभी बताता हूँ भाई, प्रखर मेरे भाई। उससे पहले मैं क्या करता, होली से रिलेटेड कुछ बात हो रही थी ना। हाँ, तो आई थिंक ऑलरेडी हमारे यहाँ पर कल्चर में वो चीज़ तो है कि विच फील्स लाइक अ वेरी नाइस थिंग, कि अगर कोई रैंडम बंदा भी जा रहा है उससे मैं गले मिलकर उसको रंग लगा सकता हूँ। लेकिन जब तक वो चीज़ें प्यार से करी जाए तो दीज आर एक्सट्रीमली नाइस थिंग्स। लेकिन जब वो चीज़ें प्यार से नहीं हो रही, सो दोज थिंग्स आर नॉट दैट नाइस। तो मेरे ख्याल से देयर शुड बी एन ऑप्शन कि भाई नहीं प्लीज़ मैं जा रहा हूँ साइड से। आई थिंक देयर शुड बी एन ऑप्शन फॉर पीपल। ओके, सो या आई डोंट अबाइड, आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट कम्प्लीटली कि अगर तुम्हें कोई चीज़ पसंद नहीं तो उस जगह पे मत जाओ, या फिर वो चीज़ जब हो रही है तब वहाँ पर मत जाओ। आई डोंट ड्रिंक अल्कोहल, तो अगर कहीं ऐसी जगह है जहाँ सारे अल्कोहल पी रहे हैं और सबको ही अल्कोहल पिलाई जाएगी तो मैं नहीं जाऊँगा। फेयर इनफ, राइट? दैट बीइंग सेड, लेकिन घर से निकलना किसी को भी पड़ सकता है किसी भी काम के लिए कभी भी। सो आई डोंट वांट टू मेक दैट द नॉर्म कि अगर तुमको होली नहीं पसंद तो घर से मत निकलो। फॉर इंडिविजुअल्स दैट्स फाइन, बट दैट्स नॉट गुड फॉर बीइंग अ नॉर्म एज अ सोसाइटल, ऑन अ सोसाइटल लेवल। वो फ्लाईओवर से कूदना चाह रहा था, क्या कार अपनी? आई हैव नो आइडिया। प्रखर मेरे भाई, हाँ क्या कहता है UK07 का? मैं कई बार सेम चीज़ बोल चुका हूँ, तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है मैं बस रिपीट करे जा रहा हूँ अपने आप को। बंदा सफ़र कर रहा है, बंदे ने चूतियाबंदी करी है गाड़ी वाली चीज़ को लेके। बंदे के पास कोई सपोर्ट सिस्टम नहीं है। बंदा शुड नॉट बी अलाउड ऑन हिज ओन फॉर अ वाइल, या तो किसी प्रोफेशनल के साथ हो या फिर अपने क्लोज लोगों के साथ कॉन्स्टेंट मॉनिटरिंग में रहे, क्योंकि ही इज़ अ थ्रेट टू हिमसेल्फ एंड मे बी टू अदर पीपल एज वेल, क्योंकि जो उसने गाड़ी से चीज़ करी। तो मेरे ख्याल से अनफॉर्चुनेटली देयर इज़ अ गुड चांस, एंड व्हेन आई से गुड चांस आई मीन प्रोबेबिलिटी वाइज कह रहा हूँ, कि his life gets a bit worse. Unfortunately, I have to say that. I hope not. I wish not. लेकिन उसके बाद वर्स सेंस में कह रहा हूँ, बिकॉज देन he'll have, क्योंकि अब he'll have to stay with people who he likes or doesn't like, या फिर जो भी सीन चल रहा है। बट उसके बाद I hope there will be a spike up and his life improves. दानिश भाई की याद आ गई। अरे
उठना चाहिए। जब विदेश के लिए आप लोग आवाज उठाते हैं, तो हमारा इंडिया में एक
True.
हिंदू भाई मर गया, तो मुसलमान को आवाज उठाना चाहिए इस चीज पे। और जो आवाज नहीं
तेज चलाई
उठाता
तूने
है,
क्यों
पक्का
अपनी
वो
गाड़ी? तेज नहीं चलाई भाई, उसने जानबूझ के ठोकी है।
मुसलमान दोगला है।
जय श्री राम। पूरे घर का कर दिया बुरा हाल। ये देख लो भाई, हिंदू के साथ गद्दारी करने पे क्या क्या हो
This is just as stupid. This is just as bad, if not more so.
सकता है। पूरे घर को तोड़ दिया।
मुझे समझ नहीं आता लोग इतने ज़्यादा समझदार कैसे हो जाते हैं। लोग हाँ, लोग इतने ज़्यादा समझदार कैसे हैं इस दुनिया में, कि ये देखो इन लोगों ने कुछ चीज़ गलत करी है, नाउ वी नीड टू टेक अ रिवेंज बाय डूइंग द एग्जैक्ट सेम थिंग, लेकिन उससे थोड़ा सा अलग तरीके से। हाउ 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 आर पीपल सो स्मार्ट इन द वर्ल्ड? आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट। Why no stream to यार मैं कल घर पे नहीं हूँ। वॉश फॉर, ओह फक, ओह फक मी साइडवेज, कल नहीं हो पाएगी वॉच पार्टी। शिट, कल अच्छा अबे कल तो ट्यूसडे है, वॉच पार्टी तो वेडनेसडे को होती है। मैं कहूँ हाउ डिड आई मिस दैट?
कर दिया उनका जिन्होंने हमारे हिंदू भाई को मारा था।
ठीक है, यहाँ से मिल लेंगे ट्रू।
कर दिया जिन तरुण भाई को मारा था उसका घर है ये पूरा। मेरी पूरी फोटो की नजर लगी है मेरे सारे।
ये क्या चल रहा है? ये चल क्या रहा है? ये क्यों चल रहा है ये? आई थिंक इन्होंने कुछ एक्सक्यूज़ दिया है कि अनऑथराइज्ड जगह थी या फिर कुछ ऐसा, राइट? कल तो ही है हाँ, बट कल से मेरा मतलब है आज।
24 घंटे में मात्र रिजल्ट दे देंगे। अगर इन्होंने 24 घंटे में रिजल्ट नहीं दिया तो हम इनको 25 घंटे का टाइम देते हैं। आज से 25 घंटे हम यहीं थाने के बाहर इसी तरीके से घेराव करके ताला लगा देंगे और कहेंगे हमें तुम्हारी जरूरत नहीं है।
ठीक है, ओपन थ्रेड्स, गुड, वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस। इडियट्स।
ये दिल्ली का
क्या कर रहे हैं लोग? मुझे ये देखना है। Now this man is about to learn the real price of truth. His own people will throw him out of like garbage, drown him in non-stop harassment, death threats, and fresh fatwas by morning. His wife and daughter, they'll be hit with the vilest rape threats imaginable, because that's exactly how his community rewards anyone brave enough to break their wall of denial. You are an idiot too, my friend. Okay. See another faker. Okay. वो किस बात पे कह रहा हूँ? I don't know. क्यों खोलते हो यार रेडिट? क्या खोलूँ? न्यूज़ बॉय?
मेरे फीड में ना बहुत दिनों से एक रील आ रही है। एक ना आदमी है और वो ना ऐसे ब्लाउज पहन के पता नहीं कैसे क्लीवेज बना लेता है।
Okay, sorry Vindra, I get it. But केसियो बेटर, क्योंकि मेरे पास केसियो ही है। ये क्या बोलती है तूने?
मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हैरान हूँ कि एक मर्द
तूने कुछ भी बोल दिया?
ऐसा भी कुछ कर सकता है। मतलब मुझे एक आदमी से ये तो उम्मीद नहीं थी ये करने के, लेकिन लोग तो मतलब भारत के लोग हैं, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं व्यूज़ के लिए। एंड ये बहुत ज़्यादा क्रिंज है। मतलब मैं उसका एक छोटा सा पार्ट लगाऊंगी
Don't.
एंड में, आप लोग भी देखना कि भाई इतना ज़्यादा क्लीवेज ऑब्सेशन।
नहीं नहीं, सॉरी, मैं नहीं देख सकता। हिपोक्रेसी की भी सीमा होती है। Alia ji, how dare you talk about Alia Bhatt like that?
This is everything Alia Bhatt wore for Gucci as the Gucci brand ambassador at Milan Fashion Week. She adorned an FW26 car coat along with pointed kitten heels and completed the look with a classic 1955 variant horsebit handbag.
Okay.
Can you see something common in all this? They're all black, yes, but they're also all made of the same material. Check out the material.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all leather, made from the skin of baby cows. Newborn baby cows are separated from mother cows so that their milk can be sold to you, transported away, restrained, stunned.
Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you, dude. How dare you? अरिस ने पूछा था वॉच पार्टी पे क्या करते हो? मैं बताया वॉच ब्रांड कंपेयर। सारे नहीं भाई, वॉच पार्टी पे मूवी देखते हैं साथ में। आई फॉलो हिम ऑन इंस्टा। ओके।
With a bolt to their head to render them unconscious, their throat slits so they bleed out, and then their skin is removed. The shoe lining is made of lamb skin. Sheep babies. Same process, but instead of a bolt gun, it's electrical stunning. I have information to share, but before that, let's talk one more bit about the handbag. The handbag is it's called the Gucci Horsebit 1955 shoulder bag. Can you see that metal design? It's called a horsebit. Do you know what that is? It's a metal piece placed inside a horse's mouth to control them through pressure and pain. Their mouth tissue is extremely sensitive, filled with blood vessels and nerves. It's painful. The horse literally moves by
Fuck off you guys, come on. इतना पैसा नहीं है हमारे पास, don't worry भाई।
pulling away from the bit because they want to escape the pressure and pain. This is how they are dominated and controlled. This is the culture Gucci is representing. This is their legacy. Is this what you support, Alia? Let me share the thing I was talking about. Can you get
That's what I'm thinking. I have some fucked up thing to share with you. But before, let's talk about the handbag. That's not a sentence मैंने जिंदगी में कभी सुना था, मैं सुनूंगा।
is the age of calves and lambs when they are killed? Baby calves can be as young as 3 months old, and baby lambs as young as 4 months old. Your cat Edward, how would you feel if someone murdered your son and used his skin to make bags and shoes?
Your cat Edward, How would you feel if someone murdered your son? तू भी ऐसे वीडियोस बनाया कर. अभी वीगन लेदर का स्पॉन्सर इंडिया.
What's the morally relevant difference between a cat and a cow that one deserves to be murdered for their skin and not the other? Gucci exploits snakes, crocodiles, silkworms, cows, sheep, and goats. Is this what you stand for? Getting innocent animals murdered? Don't they have a right to live on this planet? The irony? You have a platform called Coexist, where you talk about humans coexisting with animals. If this is your idea of coexistence, animals are doomed. What a hypocrite. So everything is just PR. Anything for fame. You only care about fame. Which legacy brand uses my face? How much more money can I make? Do you have even an ounce of morals and ethics? Like at least a little bit. Like I can do something with my power other than using it to abuse innocent babies for my looks, fame and money. Just look at the power you have to speak up against atrocities like this.
Imagine Alia Bhatt going to Gucci people. I need you to kill the youngest lamb that you can to make my shoes. Bro, it's so serious कि अब हमें हंसी आ रही है.
Versus using it to dominate the weak and oppress them.
No, I don't think so. I think नहीं देखो, there are very fair arguments for veganism, like which you cannot really dispute. मतलब there are ways you can dispute them, but they don't sound moral and they basically sound like more racist ideas if you consider all life as equal, right? तो जिस तरीके से ये बोल के अब डिस्प्यूट करोगे. बट नहीं, बट आई एम सेइंग इसके डिस्प्यूट करने का जो रीजंस तुम दे सकते हो वो सारे रीजंस ये आ रहेंगे कि जिस बीइंग की लेवल ऑफ सफरिंग जितनी ज़्यादा होती है उनकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ उतनी ज़्यादा हो सकती है, तो वैल्यू ऑफ लाइफ उनकी उतनी ज़्यादा रखी जाती है. तो इसीलिए अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वांट अबॉर्शन टू बी कम्प्लीटली लीगल. काफ़ी लोग तो ये भी चाहते हैं 9 महीने तक इट शुड बी कम्प्लीटली लीगल, राइट. कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि कहते ये भी लीगल नहीं होना चाहिए. सो द आर्ग्यूमेंट कम्स डाउन टू कहाँ पर लाइफ शुरू हो रही है, कहाँ पर लाइफ की क्वालिटी की बात हो रही है और कहाँ पर एक्सपीरियंस की बात हो रही है. तो उसी तरीके से वी कैन डिस्कस द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, वी कैन डिस्कस द एज फार एज वी अंडरस्टैंड देयर एक्सपीरियंस, और उसके बेस पे वी कैन एक्चुअली अगेन ओनली फॉर argument purposes we can draw the line sentience पे. Okay, vegans, wait, what do you mean sentience पे? What do you mean? Please elaborate, please. क्या बोल रहा था मैं? So I'm talking about abortion specifically. So basically you can technically, for argument's sake, make a distinction between the quality of life and the value of life. तो किसी की quality of life, quality of experience जितना ज़्यादा ऊपर आएगा उसकी value of life उतनी ज़्यादा ऊपर होती जाएगी. But that's a horrible thing to get into, because जैसे ही तुम अभी जब तक ये ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड और एनिमल वर्ल्ड में साथ में कर रहे हो यू कैन स्टिल काइंड ऑफ मेक जस्टिफाइड, लेकिन जब तुम ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड और ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड में आ जाते हो देन इट बिकम्स हॉरिबल, राइट. और इंडियन बींग्स फील पेन लाइक जेलीफिश. मैं अबॉर्शन की बात कर रहा हूँ, अबॉर्शन की स्पेसिफिकली. एंड I do think that's also another shallow way of looking at life, just like pain that comes from that does come from I don't remember कौन से लोग, like pain as the core existence. I think the ancient Arabics had this idea as pain being the like some ancient Arabics had the idea like how the pain is extremely fundamentalist in truth. I think that's a shallow way of looking at it, at the world, but again that's besides the point. My point is okay, you can make the arguments against veganism, or you can make that argument and make them work when you're comparing human and animals, but there's no logical reason why you cannot take the same argument and compare human to human. So for example, if I'm extremely sick और एक बहुत ही ज़्यादा अमीर बंदा extremely sick है, so you can use the argument कि उसकी life is more valuable than mine. You can absolutely make the same argument वो अगर तुम animal वाला use करोगे तो. But we have a feeling कि नहीं, that shouldn't be right, even though that is right in the real world, right? Because अमीर से ज़्यादा अमीर बंदा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा चीज़ें afford कर सकता है उसके लिए. So उसके बाद personally now why I'm not really concerned with the whole vegan thing वगैरह या फिर कोई भी ऐसी different वो morality related things, because I don't think people really care about morality. People care about the narrative on which they base their lives on. I don't think people generally care about morality though. Like fucking just look around you, guys. Look around you. Like, if you actually care about morality, you should be speaking all the time, non-stop. And isme I think jo Peter Singer wala, which I know Pindra knows about, argument lines up perfectly. It absolutely lines up perfectly. And I don't know Pindra agar tune dekha hai Alex O'Connor ka rebuttal wo Peter Singer wale argument pe, but I think that's an interesting conversation, but I still side with Peter Singer on that. परसों ही दी थी क्या चीज़? कितनी बार वो आइसक्रीम वाला शेक पिया पिछले 1 घंटे में? एक ही बार पिया भाई, एक ही बार पिया है. Should I try dancing in Salman Khan's song at Ambani? Who gives a fuck? I watched before this video is deleted. Did not expect FitTuber would make a misleading video. Read before. Okay. Describe a Bollywood movie so badly that it makes sense.
इसलिए जब पुलिस ने इन्हें कुत्ते की तरह पीटा.
This God is okay. भाई ऐसे कौन बोलता है यार? चल जा भाई. All animals want to live. Where we draw the line. Okay. Seriously, Shavdeep? Is this where you draw the line? Let me ask you again. Let me ask you again. You wanna reconsider your line?
दक्ष चौधरी आपको पंडित
कम से कम 20 मिनट कंटिन्यू जूतों के सोलों से जमीन पे लेटा के मारा गया, नॉन स्टॉप मारा गया. आप लोग अपनी आंख से देख सकते हो, ये देख सकते हो मेरे आंख पे, दक्ष भाई के आंख पे, ये सर पे, और भाई का कंधा तोड़ दिया मार के.
वहाँ पर उन्होंने नॉन स्टॉप उन्होंने 20 मिनट
क्यों मारा इनको?
continue मारा.
ये वही है ना जिसने वो स्ट्रीमर भी पेला था. इनको क्यों मारा?
इसलिए जब
पीसी के सेटअप की कॉस्ट यार, पीसी का मेरा सेटअप बहुत टाइम हो गया है, तो इट्स डिफ़िकल्ट. उस टाइम पे आई थिंक 1.25 के अराउंड, राइट. और कैमरा वगैरह इज़ एक्सपेंसिव, बट अगेन दिस नॉट फॉर स्ट्रीमिंग, सो दिस कैमरा वुड कॉस्ट यू अराउंड 1.8 1.9, और उसके बाद ये लेंस अराउंड 80,000 इन इटसेल्फ, एंड दिस माइक इज़ फॉर 10,000 समथिंग, एंड ये जो इंटरफेस में यूज़ कर रहा हूँ दैट इज़ फॉर 30,000. All of which I bought in a span of a very long time. But camera I also got used, by the way. हाँ, camera तो aspiring filmmaker. Okay. Oh my God! Oh my!
Europe, there is a huge Muslim problem. These Muslims are...
What? What happened? Fuck off. Fuck off, you guys. Damn. Okay, हाँ, ये क्या कह रहा है? Like I've seen a couple of his videos. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. पता नहीं YouTube पे क्या दिक्कत है भाई. मैं साला कुछ भी करूँ मिनट में वो हो रहा है.
Huge.
A Chinese professor controlled by RSS/BJP. You are a fucking retard. If you've seen any of this guy's videos, he says a lot of crazy things. Absolutely, he does. But controlled by RSS, तुम चूतिया हो, तुम इतने बेवकूफ कैसे हो सकते हो? I don't understand it. How are people so stupid? I just don't understand it. And इसका पर ऊपर भी था कुछ. Okay. People are fucking idiots, dude. I'm so done with people. ये तो मैंने देख रखा है भाई, ये तो बहुत पहले देख रखा है. सार्केज़म में लिखा होगा. नहीं, सार्केज़म मैंने नहीं लिखा हो. It feels like he's talking about
Muslim problem.
it feels like he's talking about immigration and population replacement or something like that.
These Muslims are less likely to integrate. They don't do very well in school, but they will claim welfare. They will have lots and lots of babies, which is a drain on the economy of these nations. And what
How
this
do I speed
means
it up?
is that in the year 2050, okay, in the year 2050, this is what's going to happen. In Sweden, 1/5 of the population will be Muslim. In the UK,
Basically, I get why it seems like most of these talking points are from, RSS वाला talking points use कर रहा है. But it seems to me like, because मैंने इसकी 1-2 वीडियोस पहले देखी बंदे की, he's talking more about the population replacement rate और कैसे वो वेस्ट में गिरता जा रहा है, rather than ऐसा ऐसा हो रहा है, That's what it seems to me like. Okay. Stalker mistakes women for ex-girlfriend, throws. Meanwhile, 20-year-old woman who was reportedly being stalked by a 24-year-old man alleged that she was the target of the attack. A stalker threw acid at a 32-year-old woman on the premises of the Gurugram Civil Hospital in Sector 10 on Sunday night, mistaking the victim for his ex-girlfriend and critically injuring the victim, police said. The injured woman has been referred to PGIMS Rohtak for treatment. Doctors at the hospital said, according to the police, the attack took place between 8:15 and 8:30. Okay. Emergency ward, the woman was attacked from behind, they said. Is the देश को छोड़ने का टाइम आ गया है? छोड़ने, I think you mean. The victim said that she didn't know who the attacker was. My condition is serious. The suspect suddenly came from behind and fled after he threw acid on me. I could not see his face, she said. The woman suffered injuries to her shoulder, neck, cheek, arm, officials said. Sorry. मैं अपने डॉग के लिए डॉग लाई. Really? हाँ, sure, please. That's... अच्छा, dog. Okay, you mean stuffed toy वाला dog. I thought another dog for the first dog. Then you would need another dog for the first 2 dogs, right? नमस्ते जगत जी, कैसे हैं आप? Dr. Lokveer Singh, Principal Medical Officer of the Gurugram Civil Hospital, said that the injured victim has been referred to PGIMS Rohtak. Immediate treatment was provided to her soon after the attack. The suspect had managed to flee from the spot. We had immediately alerted the police control room, he said. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old woman who was reportedly being stalked by a 24-year-old man alleged that she was the target of the attack. She said she was from Nu. Care about how I did? Wrong. She said she was from Nu and was visiting her maternal aunt in... Okay. So, do we have information on the guy? My family rushed me to the civil... She said she suffered multiple stitches. Okay, I had stopped... Wait, what? एक second. Bindra, do you want me to read the whole thing? तूने पढ़ा है खुद? Wait, क्योंकि it seems like it goes deeper. मुझे लगा ये इधर-उधर की वो बता रहे हैं. My family members rushed me to civil... अच्छा. And my former boyfriend, who also reached there and assaulted me at 5... Oh, shit. Was visiting her maternal aunt in Subhash Nagar, Sector 5 on Sunday evening. My former boyfriend also reached there and assaulted me at 5 p.m. He hit me thrice in the head with a rod, injuring me, she said. My family members rushed me to a civil hospital for treatment. When he and his wife reached there and were searching for me, it is probably my former boyfriend who threw acid on another woman as we were wearing similar clothes. Oh, shit. Bhai. She said that she suffered multiple stitches to her head from the assault. I had stopped talking to my boyfriend when I came to know that he was married. He had started uploading my obscene pictures on social media platforms, for which I had filed a police complaint, and his profiles were being deleted. He was angry with me for approaching the police, said Sandeep Turan. Police relation officers of Gurugram Police said that a team from Sector 10 police station was immediately deployed at the hospital. Investigation was to ascertain if the suspect actually wanted to target the victim or the other woman who was injured in the assault. He will be there soon, he said. Okay, there's more? No, this is something else, right? Wow. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's something nice at least. Creepy. That's creepy. That's... oh, shit. I almost... That's creepy. That's Malika Hind level almost. Shrudeep Tatti क्यों नहीं खा लेता तू? I don't know, dude. What the fuck? Like, am I supposed to say something to the story? क्योंकि मुझे नहीं समझ आता कि कैसे someone can in their heads be like, yes, I'm gonna throw acid on her. I just don't understand it. ये 10 मिनट का मेहमान है. हाँ फिर ठीक है. I don't understand कि लोगों के mind में how this makes sense. It's very difficult for me to comprehend. Creepy कैसे है? Oh well. मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगा. Fuck है. Okay. ये तो देखा ही है.
हर हर महादेव।
हर
हमारे जितने शिव भक्त हैं, जितने महादेव को मानते हैं, मैं आपको बताता हूँ, महादेव का रोज स्मरण करना चाहिए और महादेव का रोज स्मरण करने से
वेट ये तो कृष्ण भक्त नहीं था. हाँ? Am I wrong? Okay.
दुख, भय और दरिद्रता का नाश होता है। इसलिए महादेव को रोज स्मरण कीजिए
Nice.
और महादेव का नाम ही, उनका नाम जपिए, मंत्र जपिए, खूब भजन कीजिए।
He's just improving this now. He's just freestyling, dude. He's just freestyling.
खूब पूजा कीजिए, खूब पाठ कीजिए और जो भी महादेव का स्मरण करते हैं उससे उसको भय तो नाश होता ही है। जो जीवन में आप देखते हैं कई एक तरीके की परेशानियां लोगों को उठाना पड़ता है, बहुत तरीके की परेशानियां, कुछ पारिवारिक परेशानियां होती हैं, किसी को जमीन जायदाद की परेशानियां होती हैं, किसी को
Isn't he leaning a little too much on this side?
दुख और बीमारी जैसी।
Okay, I don't care. Just realize, don't care. क्या सर्च करने को बोला? Askew. ASKEW. What is this? Not in a straight or level position. What? इसकी भी यूके वाली स्टोरी है, फैमिली ने छोड़ दी. True. Chronology here. Keep illegal encroachments, ignore notices, demolition, cry, we are being targeted by dictator Modi. Okay. Screen दिखाओ अपनी creepy streamer. What the fuck? What do you mean? What is happening? What do you mean? +1 here. What the heck are you guys talking about, guys? Vagmita seems like a performative boss woman. Why would you? Yeah, that's weird, dude. That's weird. Screen दिखाओ अपने. अरे अंधे हो क्या? Askew में. Askew में? I don't know what you mean. अच्छा फिर ठीक है. I don't know what you mean, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? अरे दिखाओ नहीं, देखो. Yeah, I don't see anything, dude. Is it skewed? It doesn't seem skewed. What the fuck was that? Fuck off. Hello, man. क्या हाल है? Thanks for joining the stream, buddy. Okay. Hey, Ram. Hey, Ram. Fuck it, यार. मैं जा रहा हूँ. Short stream खत्म हो गई क्या? 1 घंटा हो गया ना? हाँ. It's time for me to fuck off now. Nothing is happening, okay? Nothing good is happening जिसके बारे में मैं चलो के बात कर सकूँ तुमसे. आज तो ब्रो फिंग लगा ले क्यों? तुमको पता है ना कि मेरे को ये बातें पता नहीं होती, तुम आगे कुछ भी बोल देते हो. तुमको पता है ना? हाँ लेकिन नहीं हुई ना, करा तो सही. कहाँ हुई है? Is it? Yes it is a little. Yeah. Who gives a fuck? Okay. आज लगा रहे, मेरी पिछली बार बोला था तो लगाया नहीं। अच्छा अच्छा, आज नहीं यार, आज मेरा माई फकिंग आईज आर डन, सो आई नीड टू गो लाइक सून। हैव यू हर्ड ऑफ द AI समिट, द यूथ कांग्रेस में रेडी कर?
आपने AI सुना? यहाँ पे अभी जो समिट हुआ था, सुना आपने? हाँ,
गेट टू द पॉइंट।
कर दिया काम यूथ कांग्रेस वालों ने।
अच्छा, ओके 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 ओके, I think he's being sarcastic, but people are taking it like very literally. I hope that's the scene. Oh no, I think he might actually mean it. Use Congress वालों ने. Maybe he means it. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? The world is boring. दिल्ली मेट्रो में आपका स्वागत है. Okay. क्या करूँ? क्या करूँ इसका मैं? I found this from builders. From builders from Masters Union Insta channel. These people 3D printed a portable twist and set stool. Will you use something like this in public place? तुम लोग बेवकूफ़ हो क्या? कुछ भी डाल देते हो क्या? तुम पागल, इंटरनेट किस लिए है? मैं कसम से कह रहा हूँ, ब्लॉक ही करो. This looks really cool. What is that? Damn, it looks cool. Oh fuck off. क्या आ रहा है ये भाई? क्या आ रहा है ये? Hold on. ये क्यों आ रहा है? What the fuck is wrong with YouTube? अरे तो तुम Reddit पे क्यों डाल रहे हो ये सब चीजें? लोग के पट्टों. Fuck off. I'm done, dude. I'm done.
सांप सुखाना है, आधे किलोमीटर कंट्रोल करना.
Okay. मेरे मैसेज सेंड नहीं हो रहा है. योर फीड इज़ नॉट क्यूरेटेड. वो आपको कुछ भी कचरा दिखा रहा है. ओके तो बट इफ़ योर फीड इज़ नॉट क्यूरेटेड, you just get like random shit and also random NSFW shit. And usually मतलब you know कि कहीं पर भी NSFW लिखा होगा तो you have to click there, right? Because you feel like it's gonna be more interesting. But what the fuck? अरे तूने वो वीडियो देखी है? Alzheimer's patient tries cannabis, weed, I think. तूने no, it's not. हाँ, have you seen this? Medical marijuana on Parkinson's. Like, have you guys seen this video? Search करो टिकलिश भाई. टिकलिश टिकले. अच्छा ये डबल स्पीड. ओके. Look.
Hi Larry, how are you? It's been a bit of a rough week, really. And the best way to take it is put it under your tongue and rub it in your cheek. Don't do too much, you're going to be asleep all afternoon. You know what you should do? No. Don't try to communicate, just relax. See what happens.
We know from animal experiments that the endogenous cannabinoid system is very important in regulating motor activity, that very type of activity that is impaired in Parkinson's disease. From animal experiments, we also know that boosting certain branches of the endocannabinoid system is helpful in relieving symptoms of Parkinson's. Finally, from anecdotal information, we know that certain patients who smoke marijuana experience relief of their symptoms.
I think you're calmed down. So quickly. Isn't that amazing?
He used just a single drop, and his hands afterwards were rock steady, and the dyskinesia left.
The voice is coming back. It works most of the time. In fact, it's... Did you guys eat lunch?
Are you hungry now?
1 a.m. Actually,
A person like me could really use marijuana. It makes me pretty angry that I can't get it in my home state.
the number one frustration that I have is knowing that there is this untapped potential that comes from what marijuana is teaching us to generate new medicines, and being stuck because of financial issues or political issues. That is extremely frustrating.
We now know that medical marijuana controls dyskinesia.
Crazy, right? Potential cure? Well, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. But see, these are the reasons science is very stupid. It's just too idiotic. ये ड्रग्स की बात कर रहे हैं? Yes, मेडिकल marijuana की बात कर रहे हैं. देखा नहीं? Did you not see what happened? This was the one I was watching. फिर वही drugs proofs.
Overt way successful. One's connection with truth. That is their emotional. Being high functioning in society.
It's banned, but चटनी बना के खा सकते हैं. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to go on my science tangent again, right? I mean, we've done that too many times.
Society is a poor indicator of someone's connection with truth. That is their emotional healthiness, their emotional maturity. Put another way, one's success, in my opinion, can only be measured internally, who someone is internally. External success doesn't really say that much about someone at all. Now, that's not to say that it might not be easier to be successful in society. It might not be easier to be high functioning. I believe it is. I mean, certainly if you're high functioning and successful, you have more money. More money often is, or equates to, a more comfortable life. More padding in this existence. More options for food and healthcare and where you live and your free time. So it's not that I would eschew success in society and eschew being high functioning.
I think अगर इसकी मुझे बात काफ़ी सारी बातें सही नहीं लगती ना, तभी मैं शायद इसकी वीडियोस देख लेता because of the video quality. Like this video is uploaded 2 days ago. Like come on, we are too used to overproduce shit. Like this looks better. This looks more real. This feels real.
But it's not really what I've chased after in my life, and my life shows it because I'm not in any overt way successful in terms of financially, that is. I remember back when I was a therapist, and I'm going back 20 years now, just me saying I'm a therapist to people. I'd go to some party and someone would ask, what do you do? And I'd say, I'm a psychotherapist. And oh, really? Wow. They'd be so impressed and give me such respect and such kudos. And I remember thinking, that's stupid. Like, just because I said I'm a psychotherapist, you respect me. I haven't changed that much as a person, let's say, in the 5 years before that when I wasn't a psychotherapist, and I was fundamentally the same person, and yet not being given that much credit or respect. I hadn't achieved that title in life. But then the thing that was even more important to me was I said I was a psychotherapist, and they respected me. But they had no idea if I was any good at being a psychotherapist. And in my opinion, most people who called themselves psychotherapists, who were psychotherapists, were rather terrible people, immature.
True.
And power hungry and out for the money and loved being able to control their clients, didn't have a great healing gift also, had figured out the scam that if you have a fancy office and put your degrees on the wall and dress well and look.
Do you think he respect her? I genuinely think, bhai. So we know this. I don't know if there's I cannot name any specific study or something like that, but there is a general consensus that people who are psychologists, people who are philosophers, their personal lives have no effect of that. तो अगर कोई एक बंदा जो एक प्लम्बर है, उनकी जो पर्सनल लाइफ है वैसी ही पर्सनल लाइफ एक फिलोसोफर की है, वैसी ही पर्सनल लाइफ एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट की है. And they add these stupid things. Oh, I cannot use this here. I cannot do this here because these reasons. All you're doing is you're just adding different elements, different descriptions of why it sucks instead of actually looking at the problem, which is what you were supposed to do to begin with. That's just the title, na? Like if someone says that they're a surgeon, it's common, no? Yeah. I think that's what he's talking about, na? Being high functioning is a poor indicator of maturity in his video. Like that's the title of the video, right?
Pensive and thoughtful and give.
So what I mean to say is, I think now, I used to be more like, I don't know about that, but now I do think generally it's a valid indicator. एक second यार, मैंने थोड़ा सा आग दिया. Don't smoking, bro. It's fine, dude. I'm no smoke. There's no smoke. Don't worry. एक second, let me just fix this. And what do you mean at least on stream? Why? अच्छा हाँ, मैं क्या कह रहा था? फक, मैं क्या कह रहा था? Forgot. Sorry, it's fine. It's fine.
Give some positive feedback and know how to do some narcissistic gratification of the client, you could be very, very successful. In fact, looking back on my time as a therapist and looking...
अच्छा, मैं ये कह रहा था कि looking at your therapist or at your psychologist and looking at their personal lives or how they behave is an absolutely valid indicator of what they can do for you. हम हर चीज़ में expect करते हैं. For example, अगर मैं किसी जिम ट्रेनर को हायर कर रहा हूँ, कितना हेल्दी वो इंसान खुद है गिव्स एन इंडिकेटर कि वो मेरी बॉडी कितना हेल्दी कर सकता है, ऑब्वियसली गिवन द रेशियो ऑफ हिज एज. बट ऑल ऑफ अ सडन व्हेन वी आर लुकिंग एट साइकोलॉजिस्ट, वी आर सपोज्ड टू कंप्लीटली डिसएंगेज दैट पार्ट बिकॉज वो नहीं, वो अपने लिए नहीं कर सकते, वो दूसरे के लिए कर सकते हैं. लाइक व्हाट? दैट डजंट मेक एनी फकिंग सेंस. दैट डजंट मेक एनी फकिंग सेंस. Psychology is astrology with more studies. There I said it. Oh shit. I think you're spoiling, but you're just holding something. Yep.
Back on all the therapists I've known along the way, I think it's actually a lot easier to be a successful psychotherapist if you're not very emotionally healthy. The reason being...
मुझे पता था, सिद्धू सुनेगा तो.
We live in a world, a society. All the societies of the world.
मैं सिर्फ पढ़ लो यार, सॉरी गेस भाई. चलिए अब कैंडी तो पढ़ लिया था मैंने. जो बंदा मुंह में धागा डाल के आंखों से निकालता है, आज फिलोसफी और थेरेपिस्ट की बातें कर रहा है. वाह जी.
Perhaps to some degree.
Who the fuck are you, guys?
Value honesty. They value putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. Getting someone to be functional is the goal of psychotherapy, not to know themselves. And for a psychotherapist who holds it in high value for people to know themselves, and then, yes, I believe in helping people function better to the degree that they wanted to, but more so I wanted people to help people know themselves. That's something that I held more important in my own life than anything. Knowing the truth of myself, being constant with the truth of myself.
We have known this for thousands of years. We have known this. Not we as in, हमारी civilization, हमारे धर्म में तो. If human beings have known this from thousands of years. For thousands of years. The fact we keep getting back to ground zero is absolutely astonishing.
Myself and all else that I might do or accomplish or be out in the world was going to come from that. And for me, that came from healing my childhood traumas, casting off the lies that had been forced on me in my family system, in my school system, in my society, but primarily in my family system from my parents. Breaking away from them was something key for me to know myself. I didn't get help to do this in psychotherapy. In fact, my experience with multiple psychotherapists before I became a therapist and during my time as a therapist was that they weren't interested in this value of mine. They hadn't done it themselves. They were more interested in symptom checklists and fixing me. Sorry, it sounds like there's an ambulance going by outside. Sometimes this happens when I'm recording videos, and I take it as a sort of interesting metaphor in some way or other. Fix the problem, quick, put it back together, staunch the bleeding. And that's what I think a lot of psychotherapists are trying to do. Make people look normal again, help their relationships function again, help them forgive their traumatizers so they can go back to their families and fit in, help them put on a fancier face in society, push down the anxiety, push down the sadness, push down the memories, take pills to help the memories and the feelings and the anxiety go away.
Now, it's amazing how I randomly stumbled onto this guy's content, dude. Now that I've seen some recent production of your videos, you were really ahead of your time back then. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Learn how to sleep in a healthy way.
Now I'm behind it.
Take pills to go to sleep. I saw certainly a lot of that as a therapist. The goal of therapists, again, in general, the goal of the psychiatric field in general, help people function at a higher level. No real mention of truth. That's not a goal or a value of psychotherapy, of society. Yes, there might be some lone, random individuals in that world who really value those things. But my experience is I haven't met many. And then outside of the psychotherapy world, perhaps it's even worse. It's like, how do people make a lot of money? Most of the people I know who have made a lot of money.
So here's my show. Okay? And it is difficult because I don't want to give the fields, psychology or in so much time to make this argument more validly. Okay, so take this for what it is. It's just a fucking opinion, okay? A random opinion from a retard on the internet. You get fields like psychology, ठीक है? तो बहुत सारे अलग अलग लोग होते हैं. There's like, Freud, Jung, Adler, ये सारे अलग अलग लोग, ठीक है? Who are standing on the shoulders of giants like Nietzsche, like Dostoevsky, like Socrates, like all these people, ठीक है? जो हमारा ये ego और super ego वाला concept है, वो भी goes back to Socrates, right? So you have these people who are extremely creative, extremely open, extremely introspective. If you look at सबसे जो ज़्यादा common है, like to hate on Freud's Oedipus complex, right? You look at that and you get uncomfortable reading it. लेकिन खुद तो uncomfortable हो लेते हो तुम, ये नहीं सोचते कि भैंस की आँख वो इंसान कैसा था जिसने इंट्रोस्पेक्शन से एंड देन उस इंट्रोस्पेक्शन को, उस इंट्रोस्पेक्टिव थ्योरी को out there रख के देखा, analyze करा, and so whatever he is saying in things like Oedipus complex, it's basically a self-report. So imagine how introspective, how honest with yourself, how creative do you have to be to do that. उसके बाद you look at Jung. Now उसके बाद क्या होता है when the psychology fields become systems, तो उसमें these are now fields of study, right? These are now fields of cure. So you have to take only the things which apply to everyone all the time, so you can say this is safe, we can do this, and that makes it homeopathy. That makes it homeopathy. Okay, I'm sorry, fuck it. Like, you guys remember how much I used to hate homeopathy, and I used to like psychology. It's fucking horrible too. I'm sorry. I don't know, Jitna. I know they describe it like therapy acts like a mirror to get in touch with your patterns and feelings. ये fake confidence and information fabricate करना is so dumb. I think that's what most of the times is happening. मुझे पता नहीं कि तूने थेरेपी ली है या नहीं ली, लेकिन जितने भी लोगों को मैंने एक्सपीरियंस सुना है विद थेरेपी, जितने भी थेरेपिस्ट्स का मैंने सुना है, like they are really bad. And when I listen to therapists talk, a lot of them, they are really bad. Like really bad. Like, you do not need, okay, I'm not gonna say you do not need anything, but if you can introspect, if you can be honest with yourself, उसके बाद जो सबसे डिफिकल्टी आती है, if you can be accepting of yourself, I think you are way ahead of anyone else. You are way ahead of the therapist that you can get by contacting someone. एक बार क्या था, बहुत बेकार एक्सपीरियंस था. Exactly. So if you can take time to introspect, if you can be honest with yourself, by the way, in being honest with yourself, the pre-requirement is you have to be very brave to be honest with yourself. It's the bravery required for being honest with yourself is it's difficult to describe. It's a different kind of bravery, right? I'm not gonna say कि जो soldiers लड़ रहे हैं वो भी brave हैं और वो भी brave हैं. It's different kinds of braveries. So you have to do introspection, you have to be honest for yourself. For that you have to be very brave. उसके बाद even bigger task is you have to be accepting of yourself. I think you are ahead of most people. जब मैं कह रहा हूँ ना be honest with yourself और जो bravery की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो उसमें what I'm saying is there are so many things, there are so many layers upon 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 layers, decades of narrative that we are telling ourselves, decades of narrative that other people are telling ourselves, who we love about ourselves. उसके बाद our unique DNA, उसके बाद से the way our body is developed, which reinforces the narrative, because it becomes a feedback loop. You have narrative about yourself, your body reacts accordingly. उसके बाद तुम्हारा confirmation bias keeps the loop going. So it's like so much brainwashing that you have done for yourself that other people have done for you, and all those people are suffering with the same things as well. So you have to break down all those layers. That requires extreme amount of hard work, extreme amount of bravery. उसके बाद to accept yourself within all those things. You are better off doing that than therapy. लेकिन of course that's not a medical advice, so remember that. Now that I've seen some recent, okay, sorry, but yeah, well, he looks like Sean Murphy, if you know what I mean. Sean Murphy. Okay. I don't think people can really be honest with themselves.
To some degree or other, have done it at the expense of others. Capitalizing on others' weaknesses, capitalizing on others' vulnerabilities, capitalizing on others' very, very hard work.
So ये जो inner work है, psychologists are not doing inner work. जो लोग psychology पढ़ रहे हैं, जो लोगों को therapy दे रहे हैं, they are not doing inner work. Like it's like मैं गाड़ी की manual पढ़ता रहता हूँ रोज, how to drive, and I start teaching you how to drive, but I've never driven a car. That's astonishing how stupid these fields are.
Doing it through investing types of methods where they win but someone else
doesn't. And of course you'll be able to be you'll become good enough as a teacher, because you'll teach a lot of people and you'll see what mistakes a lot of people make, right? So you might be a good enough teacher, but you're not a real teacher. How do you even check whether you have actually broken any layer and thought deeply, or if and they are just imagining things and problems that don't even exist? मैं तेरा second part नहीं समझा. How do you even check whether you have actually broken any layer and thought deeply, और अच्छा उसको बाद में सोचता हूँ, नहीं इट्स कनेक्टेड. Like if you keep thinking about a past memory, you'll come up with things that never even happened, and you'll think of them as real. Yes, memory is not reliable. That's true. That's true. That's true. When I'm saying layer upon layer upon layer, और या फिर ये जो सारी चीज़ों की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ ना, I'm not talking about historical facts. I'm not talking about exactly क्या चीज़ कैसे हुई. I'm talking more about emotional reality rather than the material reality. I'm more talking about your psyche, the reality of your psyche rather than what happened. So usme you have to come back and center yourself all the time. It's not about exactly what happened, right? And even if you make things up, if your mind makes things up, there's the reason why it's making something up the way it is, right? So I think a really, really, really good exercise is just watching yourself. Like, and I think Mitra, you probably do it already. Anyone who's more introspective would do it. Just watch yourself and watch yourself more often. छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती है. कभी मैं किसी दोस्त के साथ उसने कुछ बोला and I had a reaction to what that person said. I'm extremely aware of that reaction and the narrative that is embedded within me, which is bringing out that reaction. चाहे वो reaction उस friend को दिखे भी ना. I'm not saying 24/7 I'm like that, but whenever you are like that, it's better to see yourself, oh, that's a part of me which I didn't show to the friend. Why not? So it starts with just real good awareness. Like, just be honest. I mean, I've seen people, they legit lie to themselves just to prove that they are right or whatever, and that lying goes so long that at a point you don't even realize that they're lying to themselves. Yes, true. Here's an irony. My mom keeps reminding herself that her memory is not good. जब से मैं बच्चा हूँ तब से. Ironically, she remembers that her memory is not good. So anytime she forgets something, it's a justification. Not only is it a justification that my memory is not good, it's also a reinforcement that my memory is not good. See, here's another proof. That's one narrative that we keep telling ourselves.
Very, very hard work. Doing it through investing types of methods where they win, but someone else.
And let's say I'm in an argument with my mom, okay? Because that's a common occurrence that she would say, my memory is not good. Because that's a common occurrence, consciously or unconsciously, I would use that against her. So if you're arguing about something that happened, I could be like, "Aapko to waise yaad nahi rehta." I can say that. Because there have been times when we are arguing and there's an urge for me to say that, and I'm aware of that urge, right? That's my point. Now I'm telling you, I'm aware of that urge. There have been times I must have said it, right? I cannot recall, but of course there have been. But I'm being aware of that urge, and that's why I'm not doing it. What about the rest of the family? What about the rest of the friends? What about the rest of people around you? They're not doing this. Oh, I need to be introspective. I need to be aware of myself. They're not doing that. So they're just reacting and responding to the world. So if they're in an argument, it's a me versus you thing, always, when you're in an argument. So you use whatever tool you have, consciously or unconsciously. So this is just one simple example by if you keep saying, oh, my memory is not good. It creates this kind of a feedback loop. And there are so many things that we tell ourselves about ourselves which are true, maybe not. I don't think so. लेकिन जब मेमोरी अच्छी हो फिर भी भूल जाओ तो गुस्सा आता है मेरे को. क्यों? That's interesting. क्यों? Why?
Doesn't win. Is that a good thing? Is that a sign of maturity and healthiness, equality within? I don't really think so. And then there's another thing I've seen in our world. When people become high functioning, when they're considered successes in the world, something happens to their mind. I've seen it again and again with people, especially people I grew up with who were just average people, or maybe even people who had a lot of problems and had low self-esteem, but had some talent that they were able to capitalize on, and they figured out how to become successful in the adult world, successful in society, but all of their immature, troubled...
Favorite speakers of all time. In speaking, I think Alan Watts was good. Alan Watts was good. I think Osho was good as well. He was a little too slow though. Like off the top of my head, Alan Watts comes to mind. But then I'm a psychologist. You don't have to be a psychologist, you just have to be introspective, that's all. I like Peterson a lot. I'm not a fan of his politics though, and I think like Maps of Meaning, Peterson is a completely different person than what he became later on. So, मतलब modern में I think yes, I like Peterson a lot. Articulation wise, I think Alex O'Connor is also really good. उस दिन बिंद्रा में बात कर रहे थे कल. Who else? Who else is really good? Because when I'm thinking of good speakers, I'm thinking of people who can articulate very complicated things in a precise manner, not necessarily in a simple manner, but in a precise manner. And if you think of Alan Watts and stuff like that, they are more charisma even. कैसे भूल सकती हूँ, ये सोचकर गुस्सा आता है, बाकी चीज़ तो नहीं भूलती, और बुरी बुरी चीज़ इसलिए. There you go. Elaine de Botton, सुना है नहीं. Zizek, favorite speaker Zizek. No, I haven't. Let me just go through this though. It's almost done.
Traumatized sides, they didn't fix it all, they never dealt with it. What I've seen with such people, again and again and again, is their external success allows them, becomes a vehicle by which they can deny what's going on the inside. They live through this patina of having made it in the world. They're very proud of having made it, but sometimes, often they don't have any connection with their weak little immature sides. It's still in there, it's still just below the surface, seething sometimes. Sometimes it pops out.
See, that's so true. I don't know guys. I don't know तुमने कितने लोगों को ऐसे देखा, but I have seen them. And again, we see things through our preconceived notions, through our preconceived narratives. तो मेरे preconceived narratives इन चीज़ों से थोड़े बहुत align करते हैं, तो I see those things in the world, right? When I talk about the Oedipus complex, as Freud says it, I have seen at least 2-3 examples मेरे सामने of Oedipus complex. I have seen it, and it's astonishing. And it's not like कि मैंने 10 साल पहले ये चीज़ पढ़ी थी, Oedipus complex करके कुछ होता है, and ये शायद उससे मैच कर रहा है. नहीं. As I'm reading what he is saying, or what this stuff means, my mind is already like, wait, hold on, that person does the exact same thing. Okay, तो इसके हिसाब से ऐसे लोगों की लाइफ ऐसी टर्न आउट कर सकती है. And that, guess what? That's exactly what happens. I've seen that. Explain कर दो कौन सा कॉम्प्लेक्स कह रहे हैं. Okay, let me just do the Google explanation, क्योंकि अगर मैं करने बैठा तो मैं ज़्यादा सीरियस हो जाऊँगा. The Oedipus complex, coined by Sigmund Freud, describes a child's unconscious desire for opposite-sex parents and jealousy or hostility towards the same-sex parents. देखा कितने तमीज़ से समझाया इन्होंने. So basically, every guy when he's 2, 3 or 3 to 6, he wants to fuck his mother and hates his dad, and the girl wants to fuck her dad and hates her mother, something like this. But you take this forward and you see how things go, and yeah. It's not this theory in itself. So what happens is, okay, this is gonna sound not good to you guys, but there's not a lot of you guys, so that's fine. I don't know how much of this I want to get into, because these are uncomfortable things to talk about, but it is what it is. I have seen in the world when the mother is more insecure, like extremely insecure, and she feels alone. She doesn't have a good relationship with her husband, doesn't have a good relationship with her parents, so she feels alone. She's insecure, she feels anxiety, she feels the fear of being alone and staying alone. She unconsciously keeps the child or children dependent on her as much as they can, but she does that unconsciously, right? She in her mind, she's extremely loving of the child. That's what she's doing. But because she's extremely loving of the child, that's the extreme feminine love, right? And especially अगर father से अच्छा नहीं है, तो emotional incest. There you go. Especially अगर father से अच्छा नहीं है, तो like I have seen the cases even where जहाँ पर लिटरली there would be a complete separation between the mother and the father, and the kids would usually stay with the mother in cases like these and absolutely hate the father. मतलब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा सारे ऐसे जो केसेस होते हैं, बिकॉज बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस होते हैं, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा सारे ऐसे केसेस सिर्फ इसी वजह से होते हैं, लेकिन when you find mothers who are extremely insecure and they have little kids, so they consciously or unconsciously, most likely unconsciously, शुरू से mold those kids into being away from the father and into being in her god, under her shade. So the children never really mature, because in order to mature you have to get away from the shadow of your mother or your parents. So the children do not get to mature for later in life. They keep growing up, but they remain children and they remain attached to the mother. For men, I have seen that in my life on different occasions. Like I've seen many men, their marriages being ruined because of this. I have seen it. अपने सपनों का बोझ बच्चों पर डालना. That's a little different though. What's all this called? I want to read more about this. I'll let you know. I think Peterson has a good thing on this. Devouring mother, I think he says it. I don't know how to spell it. Yeah, so it must come back from Jung.
Look, man, Freud was no dummy when he pointed to the fact that the devouring mother was one of the major impediments to proper human development. He knew that, looking deep into the darkest families and seeing this proclivity of the overprotective mother to destroy the developing integrity of the child, to keep the child infantile, to cling to that relationship. And
see, this is why I like him as a speaker. You see the way he speaks.
Instead of developing life for herself and letting the child go flourish. That's Hansel and Gretel. You're lost in the woods. Why? Well, your family's broken up. You have an evil stepmother. What's your abuse rate if you have a step-parent? 100 times normal. So you're lost in the woods. Well, what happens? Well, you come across a gingerbread house. Well, that's pretty damn convenient. You need a house. It's more than you could even hope for. It's not just a house. It's a house made out of candy. Well, what's inside a house made out of candy? A witch who wants to fatten you up and eat you. And that's the devouring mother. Look, man, Freud...
And see, creative people, creative writers, artists, they come across these things in their introspection. They just come across it. A man... अब तुम्हें को कुछ नहीं दिख रहा था क्या? Shit, I'm so sorry. तुम लोगों ने बताया क्यों नहीं? Dickheads. जब मैं अभी बढ़ता हूँ. So, a man who's a writer, who's creative, right? They come across these things in their own endeavors as they are doing introspection, as they're writing simply with faith, like let's see what comes up. They come across these things within themselves, चाहे वो man हो, आदमी, औरत, कुछ भी हो. जब मैं रोती थी, मैंने जो सोचा है, मेहनत की है, मैं capable of something, फिर भी नहीं हो रहा मुझसे, तब मेरे पापा यूज्ड टू से कोई नहीं, फेल ही तो हो जाओगी, इससे बुरा क्या ही होगा. May it's not meant for me. I don't understand the last part though. I'll show you this as well, Bindra, because I think it's क्योंकि मैंने ये reality में देखा है. Fuck man, I'll tell you guys this. शायद मैंने स्ट्रीम पे कभी बोला, usually I don't like to say this. So I know this person. ठीक है, that person is married with children. I don't know one child or a multiple child, but I think they might be divorced now or something like that. When he was married, there were times, क्योंकि later on रिश्ता खराब हो गया, whatever. I don't want to. I hate saying that even because it feels like मैं चुगली कर रहा हूँ किसी की. क्योंकि रिश्ता खराब हो गया, and you know the wife or the ex-wife is actually talking to her friends and stuff like that. So things get out. Like there would be times then that guy, the husband, would sleep with his mother in the bed, and the wife would be sleeping in another room on the couch or something like that, or maybe on a single bed or something like that. Like on many different occasions, and there's no intimacy, and the intimacy is stopped. So like again, I'm a little uncomfortable speaking about it because I don't know about how much comfortable you guys are speaking about it. It's all good, it's all good. No need to worry.
One of the things that Carl Jung said that I thought was really interesting. One of the things that Carl Jung said that I thought was really interesting when he was talking about the Oedipal situation in families. I never forgot this. So the Oedipal situation, roughly speaking, is when, I'll lay out the classic story, is when a child is seriously overprotected, usually a male child by his mother. Now the reverse can be the case, and it can be a female child by the mother and all of that, but I'll just talk about the classic case to begin with.
Because it's more about the psyche rather than the gender, right? Or the sexuality and stuff like that.
Now, what Freud observed was that there were usually not very good boundaries in families like that. And so the relationship between the husband and the wife was either strained or non-existent. And the wife would often turn to the child to be what she isn't getting from the husband. And so there's a great South Park episode about this. A wonderful South Park episode where I don't remember that horrible little guy is that's him, yeah. And his mother brings in the dog whisperer to train him. And it's a brilliant episode. If you want to learn about the Freudian Oedipal situation, you watch that, you've got it down cold, because she brings in this expert who then she wants to have an affair with, so that's a boundary issue. And he basically separates her son from him and imposes the same discipline on him that he would impose on a bad dog. Although he also trains the dog's owners all the time, because maybe it's not the dog, maybe it's the owner. There's a Horse Whisperer movie too about the original Horse Whisperer that does a beautiful job of laying that out too, because he's very good at fixing problem horses and unbelievably good at diagnosing psychopathology on the part of the owner. He's got a gift for it. But anyways, what happens in the South Park episode is that the dog whisperer gets Cartman, straightened out. And he starts like dressing properly and doing his homework, and the mother is pursuing an affair with the dog whisperer, but he's professional. He keeps his distance, like he keeps boundaries around him. And then he leaves, and then the first thing that she does when he leaves is bribe Cartman basically out of doing his homework so that he can accompany her to, I don't know, fast food restaurant or something like that. And so the reason she does that is because she's lonesome and doesn't have anybody else around, and maybe she's also deeply, deeply, deeply terrified that if she helps that boy grow up, he will leave and she'll have nothing. And so mothers who don't have something, say, outside their infants, not merely their children, are more likely to fall into that. And it's no wonder, you got to think that through. And lots of women most women really fall in love with their babies, And so even if they start growing into larger children, that can be threatening, because, well, when the infant turns into a toddler, the infant is dead. The toddler is there now. And you can radically interfere with that process. That happens all the time. That's the class.
It's even visible with, like, in my life. ये other way around होता है between dads and daughters. Yes, मतलब it can happen all across. Right? जैसा उसने शुरू में बोला, I don't think शायद शुरू में तो सुना तो नहीं. So it can be mother and the daughter, mother and the son, dad and the daughter, dad and the son. But usually it's mother and the son. But because again we are dealing with psyches, we're not dealing with biologies just per se, but more psyches, and psyche is much more fluid, right?
Classic Freud.
That's why transgenderism has a legit case. But discussion.
An Oedipal nightmare, and that episode is brilliant. It's bloody brilliant. It just nails it. And some of you have been in my personality class and watched Crumb, the documentary Crumb, and that's another staggering exposition of exactly that kind of pathology. Anyways, one of the things Jung pointed out, so I knew this guy once who had a mother who basically was trying that trick, and she was very smart and had lots of tricks up her sleeves, and there's just no way he was going to go.
Sorry to stop this again. He's explaining how this thing kind of plays out, right? I'm sure there are many people in this classroom. There are many people, because more often than not you can find the little hints of these things here and there. छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में you can find it. You can, once you're aware of this, once you have this new optional glasses, then you can see the hints of these things appear everyone, even in a relationship which you might consider stable. इधर उधर के देख के, right? And once you start doing that, then you can look at yourself as well. That's another crucial shift. But yeah, first shift is knowledge of the concepts from the main people, not from the bureaucratic psychology fucking industry, but from the real guys.
Go for it. He rebelled at every possible moment, and he basically became, I would say, somewhat hyper-masculine in response, which is an interesting lesson with regards to the hyper-masculinity that boys often develop if they're raised by single mothers, because they tend to go one of two ways. And he just fought her at every step of the way, and it didn't happen. But one of the things Jung said, which I loved, and you can really see this in the Crumb documentary, is that the Oedipal mother basically entices the child, says, look, here's the deal. You don't have to do anything, but you don't get to leave. But if you don't leave and you don't do these difficult things, then I'll take care of you. And the child has a choice all the way along there. I mean, obviously, he's outclassed in some sense, but it's not as obvious as you'd think. Little kids are tough, and they make decisions all the time. And so Jung thought about it more as a conspiracy than as something imposed on the child by the mother. And I really like, it's actually a conspiracy between mother, father, and child, actually. And I think that's a good way of looking at it, even though it's really rough, because, well, should you hold the child responsible? Well, yes, but judiciously and not completely, because then if you deal with someone like that as an adult and they're trying to escape from it, you have to go all the way back and figure out how the hell it happened, and then they have to adjust, they have to figure out where they opened the door, like inviting a vampire in, because they can't come in unless you invite them in, you know. So don't invite them in, because once they're in, they're really hard to get rid of, and they'll take all your blood. So that's a cautionary tale. So anyways, Pinocchio doesn't know any better, and he's got the egotism of,
by the way, this is all from the Pinocchio analysis,
you know, of youth, and he's offered the easy way to success, which is exactly what the fox tells him, and off they go to see Stromboli. So this is the song. I'm not going to read it all. It's great to be a celebrity in actor's life for me. You sleep till after 2, you promenade a big cigar, you tour the world in a private car, you dine on chicken and caviar, an actor's life for me. So it's all this idea of wealth and public exposure and zero attention whatsoever to anything regarding responsibility or discipline or learning. And so it's a dual attraction, right? You get everything you want and you don't have to do anything. Jeez, what a deal. And so that's what the actor represents. It's a liar, fundamentally. It's someone who's acting out a deception. They're a persona in the Jungian sense. So the persona is the mask you wear in public, that you might even think you are, but you're not. It's this mask, and that's the actor, that's the persona. So the fox and the cat are inviting the puppet to only become a persona. And that's, see, for Jung, you start as a persona. And then when you start to investigate the parts of you that don't really fit in that persona, that would be the shadow, then you start understanding who you really are. And that's shocking, because the persona contains everything, roughly speaking, that you think is good, and maybe even that your immediate culture thinks is good. And then the shadow contains everything that's not part of that. And some of that's really bad. But some of it is good disguised as bad, and you can't break out of the persona and transcend it until
after a long time. No, you were just here, weren't you, Manav?
So you incorporate a lot of what's in the shadow. And so, for example, if you're an extraordinarily compassionate person, let's say, 98th percentile will say, you're going to be sacrificing yourself to other people all the time. And there are people who will find that extraordinarily endearing. And it will be under some circumstances. But the problem is that you will sacrifice yourself. And that's a really bad attitude to have.
And you will hate yourself for it. And you will hate others to make you do that. Right? You're extremely agreeable. I don't know how many of you would fit in that category, because we don't have a lot of big amount of people watching right now. So if you're extremely agreeable, right, you have a really difficult time saying no to things. You'll say yes to things you don't want to do. You'll do that often enough, and you'll see that the other people are not reciprocating it. Right? So you hate yourself, you hate them for making you do it. But one thing you also need to realize is that you are also not doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You are also doing what you are comfortable with, and they are doing the same thing. You are more comfortable with just saying yes, even though you feel like you don't want to. And they are more comfortable saying no on that. So they, it's self-hatred. Does that make sense?
For example, towards adult males. It's a great thing for infants, but for adult males, it is the wrong approach. And
so it's very common in relationships, or maybe a friends about beauty is related. So his girlfriend was like, let's meet up on Sunday or whatever. And he said, sure, yes, let's do that. Or amazing read on his girlfriend's part. She realized he didn't really want to do it. And she went like, hey, you know you can say no, right? She had to do that because the guy was not comfortable just saying, no, okay, I don't want to meet on Sunday. She had to do that, and that was very good on her part. Right? Because होता क्या है कि वो बंदा बार बार ऐसी चीज़ों के लिए बोलेगा कि हाँ वो कर लेते हैं, हाँ वो कर लेते हैं, हाँ वो कर लेते हैं, और वो छोटे 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 सैक्रिफाइसेस करेगा. व्हाट हैपन्स जब तुम कोई बहुत छोटा सैक्रिफाइस करते हो, उससे तुम थोड़ा सा कम छोटा सैक्रिफाइस करने के लिए और वो मोर विलिंग, और उससे थोड़ा सा बड़ा सैक्रिफाइस करने के लिए और मोर विलिंग. सो इट बिकम्स अ स्लिपरी स्लोप. यू डू समथिंग रियली स्मॉल फॉर समवन, देन अ लिटिल बिग, 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 या फिर यू कैन गो लाइक दिस, लाइक स्टार्ट फ्रॉम समथिंग रियली स्मॉल, अ स्मॉल सैक्रिफाइस, थोड़ा सा बड़ा, 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 थोड़ा सा बड़ा. दैट्स वेरी बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट, राइट? किसी के लिए कोई बहुत छोटी सी चीज़ करो, वो थोड़ी सी बड़ी करवा के people can get away with a lot. So you do all these sacrifices. The other person is not even aware कि तुमको संडे को मिलना comfortable नहीं था, but you are already here, right? क्योंकि with time this happens. The other person don't even know about this. जब तुम यहाँ तक के sacrifice कर रहे हो just सिर्फ दूसरे इंसान से मिलने के लिए, you expect the same, and then you ask her, hey, you want to meet on next Sunday? And she's like, एक्चुअली आई हैव सॉर्ट ऑफ अ प्लान विद माई फ्रेंड. वो कुछ टाइम बाद आई है एंड आई एम नॉट इवन श्योर कि वो प्लान होगा या नहीं होगा, बट उस अभी अपना वाला कैंसिल कर देते हैं बिकॉज शायद उसके साथ हो जाए. एंड दिस पर्सन जो यहाँ तक के सेक्रीफाइसेस कर चुका है इज लाइक व्हाट द फक, आई हैव बीन कैंसिलिंग ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स जस्ट बिकॉज यू सेड यू वांट टू मीट, बट नाउ आई वांट टू मीट, यू आर कैंसिलिंग इट फॉर समथिंग विच इज नॉट इवन श्योर. दे फील बिट्रेड राइट देयर. एंड जब आर्ग्यूमेंट शुरू होता है, यू आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट कि ये यू आर लाइक यू डोंट रिस्पेक्ट माई टाइम. यू जब भी मैं कहता हूँ ये दिक्कत होती है, जब भी तू कहती है आई एम देयर फॉर यू, बट आई डोंट थिंक यू आर इवन हियर फॉर मी. लाइक डू यू रियली फील फॉर मी? डू यू हैव एनी फीलिंग फॉर मी? डजंट सीम लाइक इट बिकॉज व्हेनेवर आई वांट टू मीट यू डोंट वांट टू मीट. Am I just a comfort zone for you, or what is happening here? That's how the argument develops and spirals down. And that all started from here. That Sunday when you weren't sure if you want to meet, but you just said yes anyways. So, जो मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, really good catch on my girlfriend's part, because she avoided all of this potentially, because these things keep creeping in on the span of your relationship. In this example of being agreeable, what is exactly what's in exactly the shadow part? एक सेकंड मुझे अपनी बात बता रहे हो आप. नहीं, मेरी बात नहीं है, बट आई वुडंट लाई अबाउट इट. अगर मेरी बात होती है, वुड जस्ट सेड इट. इन दिस एग्जांपल बीइंग एग्रीएबल, मैं अपनी बात बता सकता हूँ. आई कैन गेट इनटू इट. व्हाट्स इन एग्जैक्टली द शैडो पार्ट? व्हेन यू आर एग्रीएबल, यू यूजुअली वांट एक्सेप्टेंस फ्रॉम अदर पीपल, राइट? Because the moment you are being disagreeable or confrontational, you fear confrontation, and you also fear being left alone. इस संडे को मिलते हैं, मुझे नहीं मिलना. And some people can just say it like very नहीं यार संडे को नहीं यार, very normally. But for other people, you are like अगर मैंने इसको संडे को मिलने को बोला and if she said कि नहीं मुझे नहीं मिलना, I would feel horrible. क्यों नहीं मिलना मेरे से? Right? If you are, especially if you are introspective, especially if you think, if you are overthinker, which I hate the term, so you don't want confrontation because you fear being left alone. Give me an example. If it's okay, something that was in your shadow and you integrated it. I cannot say that I have integrated something. It will be difficult for me to think. मुझे सोचना पड़ेगा काफ़ी ज़्यादा उसके लिए. That's why I'm avoiding it. But if something comes to me, I'll let you know the day after tomorrow. कल तो stream नहीं है. If something comes to me, I'll let you know. जहाँ तक मेरी बात है, so I don't call people. ठीक है? I usually don't call people. उसके लिए multiple reasons हैं. पहला reason ये है कि I am out of sight, out of mind kind of a guy. I don't miss people the way people miss people. I don't miss people. Okay. I'm not cold. I'm an extremely loving person. I'm not cold at all. But I have been. There have been times. Again, this is past because I think I've improved this to a certain degree. But I have been extremely nervous on calling someone, even if I know they care about me. But I have like it would be really rare कि I just call someone कि मेरा मन है बात करने का. Male, female doesn't matter. Friend, girlfriend doesn't matter. So I have called my girlfriend in the sense कि हाँ हम रात को बात करते ही हैं, but not like यार मेरा बात करने का मन कर रहा है. Not that. So there have been times where I'm very distressed. Example, I'm 20 years of age around, right? My first dog, which I had for a long time, is dying, and it's up to us, or mainly up to me, if we are going to euthanize him or if you're going to let him pass. So I'm extremely distressed, right? There's a girl I like around that time. I know she cares about me. I know she likes me as well. We're not in a relationship or anything, but we talk like all the time. So but I'm going through this big stress part in my life, and we have a good talking relationship, but I still do not call her because I feel weird just to call her up and be like, I don't want to talk. It's better now though. It's better now. So जो मैं कह रहा था ना कि I can give you a personal example. Hume की बात पे, that's the personal example. I think I can kind of link it with बिंद्रा की उस पे, क्योंकि one of the things that I have done is that if I find something stupid, if I find something cringy, if I find myself thinking of something stupid, cringy, or something like that, I say it anyways. I make it a thing to say it anyways. Because otherwise there is a constant worry. Oh, I have to sound smart. Oh, I have to be right on this. Oh, I have to sound poetic on this. How my delivery is on this. I want them to feel this way when I'm saying this. It goes back to what I say whenever you're interacting or talking with anyone. When you're talking to someone, just take your mind off of you and put it on them, and your life becomes so much easier. And automatically theirs become better as well, at least for the moment that you are sharing together. क्या फ़ायदा फिर अपने बंदे ऐसे बात ना बोल पाओ तो कौन सी बात. So yeah, that's more of a personal example. I don't know if that really lines up, but yeah. So a lot of the times you'll also see this happen in the stream. Like in the stream, I would make someone would say something and I would make a really stupid joke, and I would like laugh the fuck out loud. Right? So that's part of that. If I find something which is extremely stupid, I'll fucking say it anyways. की बात करनी है. Rajat Dalal level wisdom.
So you will get taken advantage of continually by people who are looking for someone like you until you grow some teeth. And you'll think, no, that's the opposite of compassion. Being able to bite hard is the opposite of compassion, which it is. And so
No, I think it's valid इसलिए पूछा because आजकल I keep thinking about what's in my own shadow. Okay. A lot of the times it's actually astonishingly simple things come up to you. Where is Jim Carrey? He's probably at अपने घर पे भाई. हाँ उस दिन गौरव नंगा ना रहा था, तुमने पॉज किया फ्रेम पे जानबूझ के. गौरव जोन राइट. Fuck off.
So you'll have that pushed into the predator category. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting angry. I don't like conflict. It's like until you bring that out of the depths and put it on so you can use it, you're going to be in trouble. And that's kind of Nietzsche's idea of the revaluation of good and evil. Right?
So this is what I mean. मेरे तो कुछ ज़्यादा ही expectations हैं. Yeah, I know. I can see that. So when you see a lecture like this, which is more about the psyche rather than psychology, more about the narrative rather than the analytical, these lectures, चाहे कोई भी दे रहा हो, पीटरसन दे रहा हो, कोई दूसरा बंदा दे रहा हो, they are much better than any analytical psychology, because this is not how our psyche works. के अच्छा, our psyche doesn't necessarily work in strict categories, right? They are very narrative dependent. In fact, narrative is, where did I hear this? Narrative is the description of how we see the world. Beautifully put. I think Peterson ही था. Narrative is in fact the description of how we see the world. Amazing. It's beautifully put. क्योंकि if you don't have a narrative, if you don't have a place you're coming from, place you're going, things are invisible. You need a narrative in order to see things. So one of the fundamental things in our narrative is the desire for survival, right? That's one of the fundamentals. I'm just going back to it because it's the most basic one. It's the most evolutionarily relevant. So इसलिए it is the most ingrained within us. उससे लिए फिर avoidance of pain, it becomes one of those things, right? और फिर जब high expectation हो तो compromise और adjustment बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है मेरे लिए. I can imagine. Do you think if you remember बचपन में तुम कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करते थे या कुछ चीज़ें ऑटोमेटिकली अज्यूम करते थे, वो सब पैटर्न्स देखना इज़ सो ईजी टू गेट अ पीक इन योर साइकी देन एनालाइजिंग यू आर थिंकिंग नाउ बीइंग एन एडल्ट. एक सेकेंड में समझ नहीं पाया शायद. डू यू थिंक इफ़ यू रिमेंबर बचपन में तुम कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करते थे या कुछ चीज़ें ऑटोमेटिकली अज्यूम करते थे, वो सब पैटर्न्स देखना इज़ सो ईजी टू गेट अ पीक इन योर साइकी देन एनालाइजिंग यू आर थिंकिंग नाउ बीइंग एन एडल्ट. I don't think I understand the point of your question. Matlab, is it more of a statement or a question? I don't understand. I have felt this. Okay. Okay, चलो मैं सोने जा रही हूँ. Alright, good night, Hume. Thanks for joining stream. Take care. See you day after tomorrow, hopefully. So you're saying basically because you're looking at things from hindsight, it becomes much easier to see what was happening and what you were doing. Is that what you're saying? And that you have experienced this? Yes. Okay. क्या एलियाना गोमेज और जस्टिन I don't know किन की बातें कर रहा है भाई. तो I have no idea. I think also Bindra, at the same time it's a good thing to remember कि the child you are contemplating about still exists. Again, that's part of introspection, right? Selena Gomez और Justin Bieber. Selena Gomez लिखना चाह रहा है तू, ऐसे नहीं चल रहा तेरा. पता बिंद्रा, do you wanna do the Peterson lectures on the stream? I'm down. Like बचपन में if मेरी किसी फ्रेंड से बात नहीं होती थी तो I would immediately assume they don't like me anymore, they'd hate me. I think वो चीज़ अभी भी है मुझ में. Fair. Have you wondered why, considered why? Is it a defense mechanism? Are you preparing yourself? Like, or what is it? Oh, okay, I didn't expect that from you, Indra. Because of the Peterson hate. Epstein Files का opinion क्या है? जो मैं morality की बात कर रहा था, मेरे ख्याल से if anyone really cared about morality, people would not stop be talking about Epstein Files, but people are not. So, and Sonam Wangchuk as well. बट ये जो मैप्स ऑफ मीनिंग लेक्चर्स हैं, दे आर अ लिटिल लॉन्ग. सी, जैसे ये 2.5 घंटे का लेक्चर है, बट अमेजिंग कंटेंट डूड, अमेजिंग. इट्स अमेजिंग. इट्स फ्री ऑन यूट्यूब डूड. तभी आई एम सो सरप्राइज. बचपन में देयर शुड बी नो रीज़न वो सब सोचने का, बट आई स्टिल फेल्ट दैट. I don't think that's fair कि बचपन में there should be no reason ये सब सोचने का, because I think there are many reasons, right? There's your genetic makeup which is developing your personality. Like you might be more neurotic, you might be more compassionate, you might be more in certain things and less in other things. ठीक है? So there's your genetic makeup. उसके बाद already जब तक हम लोग memories develop करते हैं, जब तक हम लोग comprehend करते हैं, you remember. Okay, why do we have memory? Memory is a evolutionary adaptation so that we can remember our mistakes. That's the main purpose of memory, so that we can adapt our mistakes, right? So the prerequisite for memory is the idea of goal. Why? Because you make mistakes in reference to a goal. You cannot make mistakes if there's no goal, right? अगर मेरा कोई goal ही नहीं है, then I cannot make mistakes. अगर मेरा फंडामेंटल लेवल पे भी कोई गोल नहीं है, अगर मेरा सर्वाइवल भी गोल नहीं है, मेरा गुड लाइफ गोल नहीं है, मेरा एक बेसिक लाइफ गोल नहीं है, मेरा स्टेबल लाइफ गोल नहीं है, मेरा कोई गोल है ही नहीं, लेट्स से, देयर इज नथिंग आई कैन डू व्हिच वुड बी अ मिस्टेक. आई डू समथिंग स्टूपिड, आई गेट हर्ट रियली बैड, it's still not a mistake because it's not in opposition to my goal. So a goal is a prerequisite for mistake, right? In order to remember mistakes, we developed memories, which means when you have goal, you have a narrative. Why? Because there is a value statement there कि जो goal है, that is whatever the goal is, say B, and whatever you have right now, A, so there is a value judgment that B is better than A. That's a narrative. Why that is? It is deeper than that. So even when you have memories, you have all of this going on fundamentally. उसके ऊपर से जैसे मैंने बोला कि तुम्हारा genetic makeup of your personality and the way we all have been brought up, जिस तरीके से सारी चीज़ें चल रही हैं, तो आई थिंक दैट्स नॉट वैलिड टू से कि बचपन में देयर इज नो रीज़न टू फील दैट वे. हमारा एक फ्रेंड का सरनेम बर्मन है, क्या वो प्रमना से है? आई हैव नो आइडिया. Oh, she wants to know your location. Damn, dude, I want to know his. तुझे पता लगा? हाँ, now I think about it. We can do the Peterson lecture though. We can do the first lecture. These things इस बंदे ने बहुत अच्छे से पुट कर रखी हैं. And there is this book as well, The Architecture of Belief, Maps of Meaning. It's in there. That's why I value you. Did you find out, Gaurav, that someone else, some guy died in a motorcycle crash on Holi, आसपास से? सुना तूने? I remember मैंने उठाई थी बुक बहुत पहले, कॉम्प्लेक्स लगी मुझे. It is fair. That's absolutely fair. इसलिए you also have this lecture series that you can watch with it. No, Jordan Peterson does not spew word salad. Maps of Meaning explained. Okay, let's just watch this 10-minute video at last. क्योंकि एक got to know. You did?
I get too into my head, and it's like, oh, it's got to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect because life isn't perfect, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do this stand-up, get your body moving type video in which we address what I think is the most ridiculous criticism that people make of Jordan Peterson. And there are plenty of good ones, but the most ridiculous one is that Jordan B. Peterson spews word salad. In his 12,000 word mini novel about Jordan Peterson, which is all this, Nathan J. Robinson, who is just the absolute epitome of raw animal magnetism, intellect, sophistication.
Free markets are the greatest poverty reduction system in the history of the world. Poor people have iPhones now.
Just the absolute top G, more so than Cobra Tate himself. Nathan Robinson says, and I quote, needless to say, I'll do it in a British accent. I can't do it in a British accent. Needless to say, when someone is this convinced of their own brilliance, they can be unaware of just how far afield they have drifted from the world of sense and reason. True. The diagrams and figures in Maps of Meaning are astonishing. They are masterpieces of unprovable gibberish. This is not what he sounds like at all, all right? But everyone from the island of the United Kingdom sounds the same to me, and that's all fine. Let me tell you why this isn't the case. These are masterpieces of unprovable gibberish. This is silly, because these diagrams, as I'm about to explain here in a second, I've got these nice lectures pulled up just to contextualize stuff, are not gibberish. They're, in fact, very useful, and they're some of the most fundamental diagrams in Jordan Peterson's Maps of Meaning. And listen, I'll be honest, nobody loves diagrams more than I do, okay? So let's get into it. All right, it is now 2 hours later, having screwed up in so many ways. But anyway, let's start with this first part of the diagram. I'm going to let Jordan Peterson explain it initially, and then we'll walk through it.
So I made the case for you that you exist within this thing. I've never figured out exactly what to call it, because you can call it a game, or you can call it a frame of reference. It's a pretty good one. Or you can call it a story, or you can call it a unit of perception. But that's not exactly right, because it's more than perception. It's really this. It's really what it is a micro personality. It's your personality as it manifests. As a story, or you can call it a unit of perception, but that's not exactly right, because it's more than perception. It's really this. It's really what it is a micro personality. It's your personality as it manifests itself.
Yes, you're right. Ironically, क्योंकि मैं ये कह रहा था कि I'm more used to listening to Peterson and his ideas. So if you need anything, let me know. If you don't listen to him much and haven't listened to him as much, it might be a little complex or feel that way.
Within this thing, I've never figured out exactly what to call it, because you can call it a game, or you can call it a frame of reference. It's a pretty good one. Or you can call it a story, or you can call it a unit of perception. But that's not exactly right, because it's more than perception. It's really this. It's really what it is a micro personality. It's your personality as it manifests itself at the highest possible resolution. That's what this is.
It's your personality as it manifests itself at the highest possible resolution.
That's a really good way to put it. I know उसने भी repeat करा, but that's a really good way to put it.
Okay. Anytime that you are doing anything, you are operating in one of these frames, okay? If you are a human being doing anything, this defines what you are doing. There's a couple parts to it. There's the outside parts and the middle parts. When you do something, what do? You go from point A to point B. That's what is the invariable present. I should have a laser pointer here. That's this is point A, and this is point B. You cannot do anything without going from point A to point B. Now, it might not be a physical move, but it could be a state shift. So, I can go from here to the grocery store, or I can do my homework, and that means going from a state of not having my homework done to having it done. So doing something involves going from point A to point B. There's no if, if and or buts about it. And when you do something, one of two things happens. Either you get a predicted outcome or an unpredicted outcome or a semi-unpredicted outcome or whatever. So when you are doing something and the predicted outcome occurs, what happens? You get the feeling of, this is what the diagram indicates, it's kind of weird, promise, hope, and pleasure. Pleasure is the most important one, dopamine, you do something, you have a mini goal, you achieve the mini goal, and you get rewarded. Or something can be an unpredicted outcome, right? And that will provoke threat or anxiety. Now you'll notice here that promise and hope are also part of this, and we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so let's walk through this whole thing. Let's say my action, the frame, the point A and point B is I want to drink this whole beer. I want to go from the unbearable present, not having drinking this beer, to the ideal future, having drunken this beer. So what do? Okay, I plan a sequence of behavior. Well, I'll sip the beer, I'll put it up to my mouth and drink it. And either a predicted outcome or an unpredicted outcome will occur. Now, chances are, if I sip the beer, that's pretty much what happens. There's no unpredicted outcome there. And in that case, I just continue the sequence and continue that behavior until I finish the beer. But what happens if an unpredicted outcome occurs? Let's say I'm drinking this beer, or I crack the beer open for the first time, and I sip it, and I go, wait a second, this is not a beer, this is an IPA. I wanted beer, and I predicted that I would taste beer, but instead I tasted the devil's urine. And what happens is, now, because it's an unpredicted outcome, I step back a little bit. Whoa, this interrupts my frame. There's now threat and anxiety. So what do? I need to generate and choose a new sequence. So what would that look like? Okay, well, normally I was going to sit here and drink the beer, but now I have to go into this kitchen, dump the IPA out, throw the rest of it out because I'm looking for beer, and then grab an actual beer, like a Shiner Bock. Okay, and then I come back, and I've generated a new sequence. Well, what is it? Well, it's what I was doing previously, or what I demonstrated previously, to just drink the beer. Boom. And then that's the frame. That's point A to point B. Now,
no, I know. On just one look, it can feel like, yes, obviously, why are we pointing out the obvious? It is very important to understand what is already presumed, because there are so many presumptions that we are not aware of. It's very important to understand what is already presumed so that we can analyze those and we can analyze how we act, taking the presumptions away. Because if we don't understand them, we cannot even take them away, and we cannot apply them somewhere else, and we cannot do anything with them if we don't understand them.
Why does it say promise and hope next to threat and anxiety? Because promise and hope are up here. Why are they in lower parentheses here? Let's pick a different frame to explain this. Let's say I was supposed to get dinner with my friend. We had planned it. The unbearable present is not getting dinner with my friend. I'm all alone. Ideal state is having dinner with my friend. And I text him, and I said, hey, when are you picking me up? Blah, blah, blah. And I expect 6 o'clock or whatever. That would be the predicted outcome. But instead I get an unpredicted outcome. Hey, I can't make it. Oh, crap. Threat and anxiety. God, now I'm going to have to, spend the night alone or whatever. And it sucks. So I get threat and anxiety, and I have to generate a new sequence of behavior. But then I think, okay, in the process of generating a new sequence of behavior, what else am I going to do? I think, oh my God, I just bought Tostitos pizza rolls, and I have a whole bunch of them in my freezer. I can eat those. Boom. What was originally anxiety, I can now just have Totino's pizza rolls. And so the unpredicted outcome, which was not good, maybe not ideal, still presented promise and hope in a different regard. And so that's what generates a new sequence of behavior. And if the ideal future was, spending my night productively, well, it was originally going to be with a friend, but I've generated a new sequence of behavior to have Tostino's pizza rolls. Boom. That's how I've regenerated my frame in the face of an unpredicted outcome. Now, here's the cool thing. The cool thing is that this frame works at every level of analysis. So Peterson said this is a micro-personality. It's your personality manifesting itself at the most granular level. It can also manifest itself at the most abstract level. So for example, if I have the beer, okay, point A to point B is drinking the beer. But it could also be something like live a good life, which is extremely abstract, almost too abstract to actually take any action on. Because here I am living my current life. I'd like to live a, good life that ends in the future of some time. And that's where this diagram comes in, because each abstract frame can be broken down into smaller frames, right? So the way it's set up is a little bit different on here, but family care. Okay, let's say the abstract goal is take care of my family. Okay, let's say I have a kid and my goal is take care of my child. Okay, well that breaks down into I gotta prepare food for my child. That's the most basic thing. So we get down to here, complete meal. But that even decomposes more, where I need to go, okay, I need to actually cut corn, set table, do dishes. And so when your personality is manifesting itself moment to moment, it's doing it in those individual mini frames. So this single action is a frame that gets exhausted. Once I'm done with that, and then I move into the next frame. And they make up these bigger frames, and that's what builds in a hierarchy of abstraction. Okay, so we'll end with this full image and prove once and for all that Nathan Robinson...
And when you find many of these frames breaking apart at the same time, you find people crumble. And that is what we are seeing with Yuga 07 Rider. I know, but... I think that's true.
You know what he's talking about when he accuses it of being unprovable gibberish. So we have our frame. Okay, let's go back to the beer. Any frame I'm operating in, I have some level of known information, but most of the world around me, I don't even know what's going on, right? Like I'm here in my apartment, I know the building is stable, but at any point anything could go wrong, and there's an infinite number of factors out there. And so that's chaos. That's the unknown, right? There's so many unknowns surrounding the frame I'm in. My information is limited. So what happens when anomalous information arises from the unknown into my frame? So for example, let's say I'm drinking the beer, right? I'm standing here, I take a sip. Wait a second, this isn't beer. It's not even IPA. It's anthrax or arsenic or some sort of poison. I thought I was drinking beer, and it turns out it's poison, right? And that's anomalous information to the nth degree, because that will kill me, right? So what happens? This new information came through, and I could make a different example. Maybe a bomb goes off outside my window or something. Now the frame that I was in, disintegrates. That's what disintegration is. Anomalous information comes forth from the unknown. It destroys the frame that you're in, and you disintegrate. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to develop a new frame. So if I was drinking arsenic or a bomb goes off or something that destroys the frame I was in of drinking beer, now I have to go, okay, well, I need to do something new. I need to go to the hospital. Oh, crap, I just drank arsenic, or my arm just blew off or something. Okay, what do I do? What's my sequence of behavior? I'll start again. I'll pick up my phone, call 911.
End time? What do you mean?
Crap, my phone's out of battery. Unpredicted outcome. Now I'm freaking out. I have to generate a new sequence of behavior in order to get to the hospital. So I run downstairs, knock on my neighbor's door. Hey, I'm dying. I just drank arsenic, or my arm's blown off. Can you take me to the hospital? Right? And that is the reintegration of stability, right? The reintegration of I was in a frame, something new happened, it blew it out. Now I have to go into a completely new frame with a different ideal state. And so that's what this diagram represents. And so the reason that frame is useful is because what it allows you to do is, or what it's allowed me to do is, any action I'm taking, like making this video. I spent several hours making this video. I screwed up in many ways, and my neck hurts from looking down. I got to fix all this stuff. And what I do is, okay, I can contextualize. Here's what I'm doing in the moment to moment. I can edit. can speak. I have my limited frame. But by recognizing that I can take that limited way of viewing the world at the most granular level, I can expand it out and go, all right, how does this fit into my future goals, right? And I have to contextualize things. I go, okay, well, what do I want out of this? I don't know. What is this video meant to achieve? Well, it's meant to communicate something. It's meant to practice even communicating in this format, because I really do like standing up. I like speaking extemporaneously, and I want to do more of it. So even just if the ideal state is putting this out there for my regular viewers to, give some feedback on and say, hey, this sucked or whatever, you can explain it differently, that's useful. But it's also working on speaking and editing and doing different things. And so I'm really tired, and I just appreciate everyone for making it through this far. And this might be the last video I post for the year, but we'll see. We got big things planned for 2023. So thank you.
Okay, that's not what I thought this video will be, but yeah, fair enough. It is what it is. But yeah, we can do the more Peterson-esque stuff. You can do that. आपने पढ़ी है पूरी? नहीं. But I have been exposed to the ideas from many different people. Like there's a P.F. Jung. I know he's one of those guys who portrays these ideas very simply. There is John Vervaeke. There is Jonathan Pageau, however you say it. Who else? I think Peterson, Vervaeke. Apart from these two, there have been this guy जो मैं बता रहा था, इसके कुछ videos हैं which are more about Gnosticism. Gnosticism is a subsect religion जो कि अभी recently, like by recently I mean 1940s में they found some more aspects of the Bible which makes people believe that Jesus was a Gnostic, and Gnosticism has a very, आज मुझे ही लग रहा है या ऑडियो कम है माइक की, हो सकता है कम हो थोड़ी सी, बट ज़्यादा बुरी है क्या? So the idea of Gnosticism is basically जो God जिसको सारे लोग worship करते हैं, that is evil, and you have to break apart that God and to get to the real one. So sleepy. All right, and thanks for watching, boy. See you day after tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. मैं ही भगता हूँ. मजा आ गया. Good night. Good night, bro. Take care. Started with this guy, Darren Mackler. Always good stuff. I'll always also forgot. There's Sidhu and Gaurav Shahid. Is there something you want to say? You can say it to me personally as well. Both of you. So, fuck off. Good night. Take care. Bye.